Afternoon, everyone. This is Sherry. I'm your host for today. I wanted to let you know that some of the things we're going to be hearing today is know how you can trade with futures, stocks, Forex, crypto with ultimate precision. Learn to decrease your stops and increase your profits. Use the right rules to follow to keep the best trades on the table. Trade a strategy that's immune to market volatility. Please check out tradersexclusive.com where we regularly post articles and video clips with valuable trading tips and techniques. This is also where you're going to find a recording of today's webinar. So if you have to leave early or you come in late, you're good to go. Before we get started, I always have to share the disclaimer. So you should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions, market data, and recommendations are subject to change at any time. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please take notes and write your questions down, but hold all your questions until our presenters are finished with their presentation. I'm really happy to introduce today Alla Peters of the Fibonacci Trading Institute. She's going to be talking to us about how to trade with ultimate precision, futures, stocks, crypto, and Forex. She is the founder of Fibonacci Trading Institute, the Fibonacci Trading YouTube channel, proprietary AlphaFibonacci system, and the Fib Institute podcast channel. Since 2011, Alla has mentored traders from beginner to hedge fund trader in the US and globally, how to trade futures, stocks, Forex, options, commodities, and Bitcoin with the institutional AlphaFibonacci system. Alla continues developing proprietary strategies, presents at hedge fund events and events like ours, and teaches globally in live online group and private mentoring classes at fibinstitute.com. And I believe I'm going to make her our presenter now and step out of the way. Welcome, Alla.
Thank you, traders, so much. Everybody can see my screen well?
Not yet.
Oh, here we go. I need to project. Sorry, I thought I was already. Here we go. Yes?
Yes. Take
Perfect.
it away, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, traders, so much for being here. Let's start. Good morning, everyone. In this webinar, I will be teaching you, as I teach each and every morning, 4 or 5 days a week in live online classes, as I was teaching this morning prior to this webinar, how to trade with ultimate precision, future stocks, Forex, crypto, all instruments with AlphaFibonacci system. First, brief disclaimer. Every single thing you see in this webinar is to empower you, educate you how to trade financial markets. Nothing constitutes financial advice. All the products, all software, all systems shown as is without any guarantees. None of the students had ever been paid for their testimonials, for their success stories. And I certainly hope and pray that you understand that trading future stocks, Forex, cryptocurrencies, all instruments involves substantial risk, and it is not for everyone. So please trade only with risk you can personally afford. And remember, past performance does not guarantee any future results. Again, this is basic required disclaimer that is essential to understand. In this webinar, we will cover how to identify institutional points of entries and reversals with AlphaFibonacci system, which is crucial, critical part of successful trading. We will review future stocks, crypto, and Forex in the current and prior markets. You will see how AlphaFibonacci traders trade in US and globally since 2011, and most importantly, how you can trade with ultimate precision with AlphaFibonacci system. and we will review a special offer for the attendees of the webinar. Briefly about myself, I came to US with nothing at the age of 20 with newborn baby on my hands. I came here from Ukraine, from towns that's being bombed as we speak. So for me, it's a very, very personal event. Since I arrived to this incredible, magnificent country, I developed very successful companies. I raised very successful children. I have students all over the world whom I empower how to live ultimate life, how to become ultimate success stories. I discovered Fibonacci in 2004. Since 2008, since financial crisis, I've been focusing strictly on my own proprietary Fibonacci strategies. I refuse to work with hedge funds full time. I only coach hedge fund traders because I believe in my own personal independence and I'm very passionate about coaching and teaching others. I taught this morning at Fibonacci Trading Institute and live online class. You can view thousands and thousands of videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to our students' journeys on our podcast channel. So this is the reason I live and breathe what I do. In the next 2 months, I will be in a couple of other countries meeting with our students. A few months ago, I was in the Middle East. I was in Dubai meeting with our students. Our students is our global community in US and globally, from complete beginner to hedge fund traders. Sam put his daughter through Harvard trading the system on options. Emmanuel brought his incredible wife to the course. With 2 little babies on hands, she can trade with confidence NASDAQ. Listen to their podcast, view how Richard went from being physical therapist to making few thousand per day to become successful S&P mini futures, and how Forex hedge fund manager in Switzerland trading AlphaFibonacci system. William is my dearest friend for life, also involved in helping Ukrainian refugees, also contributes all of these traders to helping others during these extreme times of crisis. So what's essential to understand each and every day on each and every trade? That knowing where to exit, knowing where to enter is a crucial part. Unfortunately, majority of the traders refuse to understand that. Majority of the traders speculate and placing random trades in the random places with absolutely speculative exits. So if I bring to your attention this chart, this is S&P mini future. This is pure price. This is all that matters. But if I change the label on this chart, as I show instantly every single day to new students, what has just changed on this chart? Tell me. When I bring this chart to your attention, is anyone seeing anything different? Please tell me. Does anyone know what this is? Of course not, because every single instrument looks exactly the same. Every single price action exactly the same. I recognized this in 2004 when I was looking at Russell, but in fact it was S&P. I recognized it doesn't matter if it's S&P. It doesn't matter if it's 5-minute gold. It doesn't matter if it's euro, if it's pound, if it's Bitcoin, if it's Amazon, if it's any stock you choose to trade. Every single instrument looks exactly the same. Anyone knows what this is? Of course not, because it looks exactly the same as gold and S&P, but in fact it is NASDAQ. So what is the power of everything I will teach you in this webinar? To understand that blocking pure price is not a brilliant move, that every single instrument looks exactly the same. If it's pound dollar, if it's Bitcoin, if it's Apple, when you can trade one, you can trade them all with Alpha Fibonacci system. This is the core of every single instrument that exists. And when you start with pure price, you know where to enter, where to exit the trade on every instrument and every time frame. But unfortunately, 95% of traders looking for easy solution. Unfortunately, 95% of traders looking for answers outside of themselves, outside of pure price. Because indicators look so good, indicators is a safety blanket, but the fact is, indicators are delayed and look really, really good only after the fact. When you do focus on pure price, with AlphaFibonacci system, you know far in advance where to expect ultimate reversal, where to expect ultimate institutional and day trading point of entry. Well before market open, well before you place a trade. When you trade with rules using pure price for entry and alpha Fibonacci for precise exits, you understand why market this morning on S&P mini future is very, very slow, because trading range extremely limited and bullish rally overextended. So let's take a look on S&P, shall we? And the events of yesterday morning and the events since the start of the war. This is a crucial part. This is a key. No indicator on the planet will tell you where institutional orders sitting and waiting. When I coach JP Morgan traders, when I coach BlackRock traders, when I coach Goldman Sachs traders, it's extremely clear. They do not use little retail charts. They're moving multi-million-dollar positions. Do you remember the events of the morning of the war? Do you remember February 24th? Have you shorted near this level? Or have you been buying the market at institutional point of entry? Here is the system well before the war. Let's go back to month of January, shall we? Here is January 31st, 1 month before the war announcement. Did you know that this is not the place to short? This is a place to buy from? War or not, institutional orders stocked up to the upside, waiting to be filled. Orders in multi-million-dollar accounts are long, war or not. First week after the war, S&P skyrocketing 350 points. So if you short it anywhere near this level, you have a lot to learn. And that's a crucial critical part. And that's a crucial critical lesson. This is institutional trading range. This will be war zone. You know this many, many months in advance. But first things are first, the lesson that the first week after the start of potential Third World War, S&P skyrocketing 350 points is extremely powerful lesson. Respect news due to volatility only. And when price telling you this is institutional buy point, do not ever short near. Every single morning we discussed with traders. Institutions keep buying the market. Prices heading higher and higher and higher. And when you add your key day trading entry, you would understand the difference. April 18, 17 is a dream. Yesterday, very sleepy markets. This morning is sharp. If I convert this chart to 5 minutes, this is the market now. This is this morning. And we knew this well before market open. That's it. This is precision with AlphaFibonacci system. On retail charts, you know this, hours, days in advance. On institutional chart, months and years in advance. And that's the system with pure price for entry and AlphaFibonacci for exits. This is the software on S&P mini future this morning. This is simplicity, this is purity, this is rule-based price, precise entry, precise stop, precise targets. You never buy bold red line, you exiting your long. Your option to buy only at the bold green line. This is the only option this morning. There is nothing else that's possible. And that's what matters on every single instrument. Pure price for entry, AlphaFibonacci for exits. No matter what chart you trade. And when you understand the power of this, it doesn't matter if it's gold, if it's pound, if it's Bitcoin, if it's Amazon, we will review all of those instruments next. And when the short is showing you, you need to exit because green line up front, NRZ means reversal zone. Exit the short, do not remain long. Not a brilliant move to short near this level. Brilliant move to exit your short. That's it. And when the students share every single morning how they trade and what they trade, that's the reason I live and breathe what I do. Listen to Brad's podcast. He tried for 20 years before. Brad supporting family of 5. He worked at Best Buy making $10 an hour, not anymore. Trading is booming. February 78, 75 points on any contract size you want. Let's do the math. S&P 1 point, 1 lot, $50. Multiply that by 78. Do the math. And if you add the lot size on the most popular day trading instrument in US, by the end of the year, you're trading 10 lots. By the end of 2 years, you're trading 20 lots. That's it. The sky's the limit. If you focus on pure price for entry and AlphaFibonacci for exits, please listen to students' podcasts, listen to Brad. Much more as of this morning. That's it. System consists of only 2 components. Indicator free the keyword and proprietary AlphaFibonacci rules. You will never, ever, ever need anything else ever again. This is not delayed system. This is predictive system. On institutional charts, you identify institutional points of entry, hours, days, weeks, months, and years in advance. On day trading charts, hours and days in advance. All depends on time frames you decide to trade. So here's gold, traded by hedge fund managers I've been working with for years. Here's gold in May 2020. Here's gold in 2021. This is ultimate buy point. This is ultimate sell point. We're dealing with this level again and again and again. This you can trade on any platform. I'm taking you back on gold 2 years before. This is what I teach tomorrow in the live class. In tomorrow's live class, I will have students from Australia, from Moscow, from Kiev, from Dubai, from New York, from Florida, from Kansas, from Seattle, who are trading this long term and as institutional points of entry. Here's April 2020. Bullish rally moving up. This is a system in front of you. You know all of this in advance. If you're buying gold, you're buying gold here. You are never buying gold anywhere near 2100 level. Chances of gold completely collapsing high 80%. Gold is doing this right now. Gold sold off again and again and again. You are intelligent strategic trader. You obey the rules and you monitor for ultimate reversal point to the downside and to the upside. Here's gold in the next few months. Here's gold August 2020. Selling pressure is on. Gold starts moving to the downside, one step at a time. But it's exact same thing that played out on S&P this morning. Identical event. What is the difference? This is 5-minute charts. This is 1-minute chart right now on S&P. You understand market is a stepping stone. You understand sellers are weak. You understand this is key support point. But this is gold, your long-term investments. You can trade both, absolutely. And when you do, you're capturing ultimate institutional and day trading reversal points and entries. You are riding institutional power. You are trading with institutions. You are not a gambler. You are not speculator. You have zero interest being majority. You're only interested in becoming top 5% who are trading with quality. That's it. That's gold with AlphaFibonacci system since 2020 and S&P in the live markets now. As I will keep reminding you again and again and again, precision and power of this system and the reason system traded globally on all instruments. The core of this system are the institutional entries and institutional exits on all instruments. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, options, mutual funds, ETFs, instruments I've never heard of. If price exists, AlphaFibonacci system applies. Here's Bitcoin this morning, traders. Our students globally trading Bitcoin, of course, as you will see next. So let's take Bitcoin back before global convention in Miami, shall we? Let's go back all the way to February 2021. It doesn't matter that Mayor of Miami announcing you can pay your real estate taxes with Bitcoin. You are a brilliant, intelligent trader who understands. This is reversal point. If you buying Bitcoin at the bold pink line. The second entry, ultimate support is here. This is the last point of entry on Bitcoin. But if you choose to buy Bitcoin anywhere at reversal zone, chance of complete collapse, 85%. Global convention in Miami 2021. Bitcoin and sell-off 65%. Where did you buy Bitcoin? Did you buy Bitcoin at 70? Or did you buy Bitcoin at 30? Global convention or not, war or not, obey the rules and the sky's as a limit. obey Bitcoin convention due to volatility. But if Alpha Fibonacci shows its reversal zone, do not buy at this level. It's simple. Agree? Exact same thing played out this year. And now the global convention and Bitcoin selling off again. Alpha Fibonacci reversal zone remains in play. That's it. Our brilliant students understand and obey that. So if you understand the rules, you understand why Bitcoin is so much pain. This is a major, major problem on Bitcoin. Bitcoin been here for the last 6 months. But hold on one second. It's exact same thing that's happening in front of you on S&P right now. You do not have to wait for months and years to see the power of the system. You see it in front of you now. And if I take you back to what played out before this event, it's exact same thing on every instrument. Here's S&P on 5-minute chart. On any chart you choose to trade, let's go back a day to yesterday, shall we? That's it. Bold pink line is the best place to buy. Reversal zone is not. I agree. This is lifeline on day trading chart to the downside. This level is out, this level is next. You know this hours and days in advance. That's the reason my students are dearest friends for life. But it's identical rules on Bitcoin long term. No speculation here. System applies to every single time frame. All in front of you right now, all in front of you this morning on every single chart on S&P. You decide what chart you want to trade. That's it. By the bottom, not the top. Basic core rules. And when the scanner giving you short alert and rules are met, take a trade. That's it. Do not overcomplicate trading. That's Bitcoin, institutional chart, and S&P E-mini future on multiple charts. Theo Legend, in the middle of the night in Australia, he kept coming to classes. He could not get enough. This is his performance on Bitcoin and Forex. His success rate at least 85+%. Brilliant, intelligent trader who has zero interest being majority, who only interested to trade as top 5% does. So please, when you come to the website, find podcast with Theo, find podcast with so many other traders, and sign up for our live trading room where you can ask questions about the instruments of your choice, where you can view the system in the live markets. And after you request the guest pass, read everything on our homepage. If you're ready to become a strategic, intelligent trader and trade as Theo does and trade as all of these traders do, I look forward working with you. It is that simple, because if Theo can do this, so can you. And that's the power of the system on S&P and Bitcoin. This quote summarizes it all. Trading with powerful institutional levels is going with the market flow with the smart money. And it is winning battle before it is even fought. So what would your trading be like if you knew hours, days, weeks, months, and years in advance where institutional entries and institutional exits are? Can you place your little order with them? Can you ride their power? If the answer is yes, then AlphaFibonacci system is for you. And that's a crucial part of trading with precision. That's the key. That's the core. So 5% of traders who succeed do not ever chase cheap indicators. Do what JP Morgan traders do. Do what Goldman Sachs, BlackRock traders do. They do not chase cheap indicators. So why in the world would you? They do not trade little day trading charts. They're moving multi-million-dollar positions. You can place your little order with them. And if you understand the power of riding markets with institutions and you trading pure price with rules and exiting with alpha Fibonacci precision, you actually start enjoying trading. You start becoming consistently profitable. You stop stressing out. You stop babysitting the junky markets. This system allows traders to trade markets only with institutions, only with power, as an intelligent and strategic alpha Fibonacci chess on all instruments. So let's review Apple with Alpha Fibonacci system since 2015. Shall we? I present at the top global convention when Apple comes out with the worst earnings in 13 years. I say the most important thing if Apple would respect 93 key support level. Apple respected this level. And when Apple doubles in value despite worst earnings in 13 years, this is a level to the upside that is crucial, critical. And many, many months in advance, you know where Apple heading to next. And you know where Apple would collapse from. And when Apple does this non-stop, carefully, you adjusting your trail. So when Apple's selling off, it's a quiet before the storm. Apple frozen for months. But hold on 1 second. It's the exact same thing on S&P right now on every single chart. Identical alpha Fibonacci rules. It's all in front of you now in the live markets. Convert this chart to 1. You are not buying reversal zone, are you? You understand this level is out, S&P in free fall. In the live market now, all depends on this level. Apple respected this level for 6 months. S&P been here for the last hour. And when Apple in complete free fall, what do you know many months in advance where to buy Apple from? Ultimate bullish point of entry were multi-million-dollar positions buying Apple in a play in 2019. That's it. Do not speculate, please. Do not do what majority does. If you focus and trade pure price with Alpha Fibonacci system, you can trade Apple, you can trade Bitcoin, you can trade anything you choose. That's it. All you have to do is obey the rules. Here's Apple this morning. Apple in massive bearish correction. Apple been stuck here the entire year, reminding you if you buy reversal zone, nothing good is possible. Apple been collapsing from 180 until 155 level. Not a good place to buy Apple. Apple in massive bearish correction. That's it. As S&P keeps respecting key support. Do you remember that part? Yes? Exact same thing as Apple has done for months. Do you want to trade Apple? Or do you want to trade 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes? Any chart on S&P? Choice is yours. You decide what's appropriate for you. The only difference, risk management and trade whole time. All you have to do is obey the rules. When Richard comes to me, retired oncologist, first year he retired, this is his performance, 100% success rate. He's trading options. He's a brilliant genius. Right out of the gate, he's off to the races. In a couple of months, he produced 114,000 after taxes. His average income with AlphaFibonacci system will be at least 600,000 per year. Richard, sign up for all the system, all the strategies I will ever develop. Please listen to Richard's podcast. He's trading completely different instruments than Brad, than Theo. This is long-term options with stocks. So please identify what's appropriate for you. Is it day trading stocks? Is it day trading futures? Or is it long-term Bitcoin, long-term stocks? You decide, choice is yours. Let's review pound dollar with AlphaFibonacci system since 2016 to this morning. Here's pound dollar with AlphaFibonacci system in 2016. Many months and years in advance. You understand where pound heading to. 124, 106, 111 is a reversal zone, correct? You see the date on this chart, 2016. Here's pound during crisis, during COVID to now. This is ultimate reversal in pound, 116, correct? But you knew that this is a reversal point months and years in advance. You also knew months and years in advance that this is ultimate sell point on pound. So let's go back to before the start of the COVID. When London in complete lockdown 2 years ago, here's pound, April 2020. How is it possible? Our students in London in shock. London is a ghost town. Everything completely locked. But it's an ultimate point to buy pound. COVID or not, war or not, rules are met, take a trade. Respect COVID in crisis and war due to volatility. War or not, if institutions buying pound at the ultimate bottom, number one, you are not shorting anywhere near these levels. You are buying pound. You're obeying the rules. You are not buying anywhere near this reversal zone. So how pound sold off and crushed again and again and again is a very powerful reminder of trading with institutional power, with ultimate precision, no matter how small or large your account is. Trade with them, with AlphaFibonacci rules. And when you do, no matter how small or large your account is, you are always on the right side of the market. That's it. Do not speculate. Do not gamble. Understand that in order to become successful, you need to be different, disciplined trader as Ken is. Ken made a movie about his life. It's posted on our page. Ken practically lost everything. His restaurant in London completely shut down. His trading system on his iPhone. He's using options on crypto. Listen to Ken's podcast. View movie Ken made about his life. You can see it under students' reviews. when students sending me videos, when I have waiting list of traders from all over the world to share their stories, you can be next can. View them movies, please. View what traders do all over the world, because this can be you. That's it. You decide what you want to trade. Do not overcomplicate trading. Do not babysit the markets, especially if you trade oil. Did you know where to buy oil? Do you understand where oil is now? Do you understand that this is a historical support on oil now? Did you know where institutional bottom is in April 2020? That response on oil at 94 will determine markets for years to come? Again, here's oil 2 years before. And why? Mustafa in Saudi Arabia is my dearest friend for life. As you probably know extremely well, all the stocks in Saudi Arabia depends on oil. That's it. You're buying the bottom, and you know this months in advance. You are never trading against institutions. You're only interested in consistent ultimate success. So if Mustafa quit his job in Saudi Arabia and supporting family of five, and Jennifer can do this during crisis, and Sue can do this, and Steve can do this, and thousands of emails later, this one takes a top bar. Why? Because Dominic is a 14-year-old boy of hedge fund manager Andy in London. Dominic loves to day trade futures. Out of the gate within 2 weeks, he has done this. Andy loves to trade long term. So please remember, you can be next Andy or Dominic or Theo or Ken. All you have to do is obey the rules. So when you come to the website, please read students' reviews, view students' performance, listen to Dominic's, Andy's, Theo's podcast. My email box is flooded with students' performance who share this 86.76% success rate, profit factor 1781, student making 1781 on every dollar. Would you like to do this? Then simply choose from the option appropriate for you. It is all on the home page. At this time, I have only one space available for private mentoring. It's the last option, savings with $5,000. It includes lifetime system for all platforms and lifetime software for Ninja 8. I hold your hand. I coach you. I quiz you. I test you. I keep you accountable. And you have access to all group classes and our video libraries that consists of hundreds and hundreds of videos from the previous live classes. If this option not for you and you would like much more flexibility, choose the option 2. This is lifetime system for all platforms or lifetime software for Ninja 8 with all group classes, video library, and trading room. Savings $3,000. So please review everything on our homepage. View students' performance, read students' reviews, listen to students' podcasts. You can be next CEO, next Emmanuel, next Carlton, next Ken, next Richard, next David. You simply have to trade Alpha Fibonacci system with rules. Nothing less, nothing more. On futures, Forex, stocks, options, and crypto on all platforms as institutional trader. I teach you exact same system I teach to JP Morgan traders. Any questions for me, do not hesitate to contact me. 925-257-4298. Thank you, traders, so much. It's been my joy and pleasure being here with you. Please sign up for the trading room invitation and please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I hope you'll join us again. Everybody, that was Alla with thefibinstitute.com. And I want you to take her up on her offer. Look at that website. Look at all the testimonials. It's amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. I want to remind everybody that if you have to leave early, you can access a recording. And you go to tradersexclusive.com. You go over here to the trading education webinars, and you'll see all of our upcoming live events. And this here, check out past Traders Exclusive webinars here, will take you to our page. So our last webinar was on March 16th, and all you have to do is just scroll down. We also have a YouTube channel, so once you get on there, you can see all of those. So that is, let's see. That talks about that. We covered all that housekeeping. Now I'd like to introduce and welcome Simon Jousef with the Trader Institute. He's going to talk to us about several things that people don't know, traders don't know. And I want to let you know that he's the head trader and trading educator of the Trader Institute. He provides day trading signals, market analysis, and education. Simon held his first public class in 2004, and due to global demand, by 2010, he had to switch to online conferencing. He focuses his education and training on the core of what moves the markets. We all know it's about buying and selling, so volume and volume pressure is key to understanding the markets. The market makers are the ones who control the moves, and with Simon's dynamic math-based indicators and system, you can see the moves ahead of time. So welcome, Simon. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for the kind introduction.
Well, I appreciate you being here. Now, do you like to take questions on the fly? Do you discuss things and ask people for interaction, or do you like to have questions at the end?
Both ways is okay. I don't mind.
Okay.
I will do my presentation, and I appreciate the kind introduction, as I mentioned. Thank you very much, Sherry. Welcome, everybody. My name is Simon, thetraderinstitute.com. Questions tab. I can't find it, but
I'm about to make it so you can see it.
Okay, so
there you go. Take it away.
Confirmation of each trade that you take. But in order for me to do that, I'll remove the questions tab for now so I could focus, and then I'll maybe halfway through I'll bring it back in. But for me to convey that message, I have to explain to you simply what do we do. So it's mind-boggling that 80 to 90% of traders don't know this. And what do I mean by this? You will understand throughout the presentation. We're going to talk about volume profile and market makers levels. The previous presenter, Alla, she was talking about institutional levels and follow the money kind of thing. So same thing here, but this one will flash in front of you as you trade, and you will see it, institutional entries coming in and help you make a decision. It is very, very important to understand, and I'll give you some examples too, and I'll take some questions if you folks have questions. I don't sell anything during the sessions. We do have, just to let you know, this is the website, thetraderinstitute.com, and Sherry will give you a handout maybe towards the end of the session. You don't have to copy anything. She will give you a handout. and the membership is here. I have a page for membership. It's at the bottom. The current pricing is basically kind of half of this one here for the lifetime membership. It's half of the special offer that we currently have. The original price is $8,900 for lifetime membership. The discount is $65, but the current offer, we don't have it on the website. It's going to be tailored for you once you join the trial. I don't sell anything yet. It's a trial you get in. If you like it, you join. If you don't like it, we partner, with no issues. It's no questions asked. So it will be almost half of this one. So it is a very tempting offer. So that being said, on the website, I will have different things to show you and different information. For now, let's go back to the presentation so I could, ease you through and teach you. I will be doing my best to entertain the idea of teaching you first, but then we talk about other things. I'm an independent and profitable trader. I trade every day with my students, by myself. I do give signals on different ways. We have a live trade room 3 days a week. Each day is 2 hours, mainly for training. And we have also a Telegram channel that is going to be available to you once you join us for a trial. Also, the live trade room will be available to you. We have a channel for indices, for elite members, for oil, for FX, whether FX futures or Forex, doesn't matter. And we have gold and silver here, okay? So that will be all accessible to you. I use volume profile with my own confirming indicators. Focus on the confirming indicators, please, because it is important. Once you get to level where you want to trade that level, you need to know, you need some kind of a confirmation to help you get into that trade, whether it's short or long. Also, knowing the stop loss. I can make a living from the markets because my method is solid and I take low risk, high reward trades with a decent, with a very decent win rate. I think this month so far has been tough, very, very tough. One of the second toughest months this year. We are sitting at maybe 860 ticks combined in my trade calls. My goal is to get 1,000 ticks or more. We've been achieving that easily. This month has been tough because the market has been crazy so far since the war started. Okay, so we do a lot of scalping here and there. I started the Trader Institute with a mission to make my members profitable and self-sufficient traders, and some of them have been with me for 16 years. And if you join me, even for a trial, you will get to see them. Some of them from 2004, 2005, and until now. Okay. 2 weeks trial, as I mentioned, to start with. You don't have to buy anything. I offer 2 weeks trial. You will see me servicing my members. You will have the chance to ask questions during the live sessions. After the live sessions, ask me personal, on my personal Telegram channel. You can ask me questions if you want to know anything. So you have 2 weeks to decide, maybe more if we take a break or if there's a holiday or something like that. Okay, so it is a very important step for you. Now, I will start with this slide. This slide is in the middle, but I'll start with this slide. Anticipate, confirm, execute. When we trade, folks, we follow something called anticipate the market, anticipate, confirm, execute. Now, if you look at, for example, this chart, this is the E-mini S&P. You see there's no connection. I just disconnected it so I could have more attention to the webinar. For example, this is the main indicator on the right-hand side, which is the volume profile. This volume profile provides levels, multiple levels for support and resistance if you know how to read it. And of course, that's my job to show you how to read it. You can use the 60-minute, and we have the daily, for example, the daily chart showing some massive resistance in this area. But of course, it's not, that's just step one, anticipate. So these levels. Also, we have different instruments or different indicators that I created throughout the years for support and resistance. And you will see them here, these DRLs, dynamic reversal levels, if you see. And at this stage, it's not important. I'll explain. So what do I mean by anticipate, confirm, execute? I'll give you a brief example, okay? Then I will jump into the today's trading. I made a recording of today's because today I spend the time with my students, not only trading with them, scalping, but also educating, okay? So I'll spend some time on that. For example, if I want to go long, and this is my level, right? And the market is coming to it, and I want to go long here, what do I need to know what do I need to know to make me comfortable that it is going to go long? I need to see the market makers or the money managers or the big boys coming in with their entries in this area. It's very simple, right? So let's go back and show you the examples will be about anticipate, confirm, execute. And this is from today's session. Where is it here? Okay. This is how the charts look like in my session. On a daily basis, this is a recording from today's session, live trading session. You will see the students here asking questions, and you see the time, and you see the instruments. And this window, for example, has an instrument. This is the NASDAQ, and it's very simple to explain. You will see I'm showing you here. There's a line on the NASDAQ, and this is a live trading session that this morning, not yesterday, not last month, not last year. This is this morning. Okay, I made a recording. What do you see here? Simple. And I made this on purpose to show my students, especially the newer ones, that I'm looking for a scalp long from this line long, right? Very simple. Now the market comes to it, and you see these magenta lines in this middle chart for the NASDAQ. These magenta lines are entries from the market makers, SAL indicator, Simon's attraction level. I created this using a special way of reading market depth on Sierra charts. Okay, market depth is very important now, and I'll explain other things about it later too. Watch this, the market, I'm not getting into this trade yet. Why? Because my entry level is here, especially knowing that the stop loss is below this area. And if you look at the bigger charts on the other side here, you will see the levels as well. But I'm using the middle chart to show confirmation. So I'm fast forwarding now, fast forwarding. I see entries, I see magenta lines popping in, but my line just touched. You notice that my line just touched right here. What do I wait for now? I'm waiting for market makers to start buying. And I simplified it in a way that it will show you magenta line. You can color them any way you want. The indicator, you can color it red, magenta, yellow, black, doesn't matter. You can control the thickness and the colors as well. But mine is magenta. And okay, did you see that? See, I'm gonna go back. There's nothing here. So if I want to go long, I want to see magenta lines below the price. Make sense? Support. I want to see magenta lines below the price. Boom, I have 2 extra added in here. This was the long. And I'm looking for scalping, 5 to 10 to 15 points, and then maybe hold the runner. Because we do 3 contracts. What we do is a 3 contract trade, 3 contracts. We take target 1 for 2 contracts. So if I'm making 5 points on the NASDAQ, that is 20 ticks on target 1 times 2 contracts. So that is 40 ticks, 20 times 2. So that's 40 ticks, 40, regardless. So just keep in mind, we usually, I recommend 3 contracts. You can do different ways once you learn the method, up to you, right? So I saw the magenta lines popping in. Let me go back and show you again. Boom, that's the entry. And look at that. From if you, let's assume you got in at 50 or 51, that's 56. That is your first target. Of course, and then it goes to near 60. You see that? Of course, point is you have to have your ATM strategy ready. If you're a scalper, some of the students have it within 10 points, 5 points, and they can control it manually as well. Some students don't take scalps. I don't like scalping. I'm a swing trader. Most of my trades are swings, but sometimes the day will force you to be a scalper, like today. All right, so there it is. Now another example, and goes higher. Another example, and then the market continues down after that. Right? We took our profits, and that was it. Look, now what do you see here? Another example. I'm gonna focus on this one. You see me putting a line here. I don't need to explain anything else. A line and an arrow. Now, am I trading from this line? No. I'm waiting for the market to touch the line first. Personally, I don't do pending orders. I would like to see, especially on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is a beast, and it's very, very dangerous. All right. So I will wait 1 second here, and until the market touches my line. So once the market touches my line, came close to it, it did not touch my line, and it was very fast. Although I had a magenta line popping up again, and you have this arrow as well. Do you see the arrow that showed up? This is part of the indicators too. You see the arrow? You see the magenta lines popping up? That is part of it as well. Okay, so let's fast forward. It did not touch my line yet. Sometimes I would miss trades because they don't touch my line, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Fast forward, fast forward. There it is. There it is. Coming, 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 coming. Look at that. It poked lower and it showed up again with the arrow, with the magenta line. You see the power of this. You see the confirmation. Again, today we're doing the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ was the only instrument that was giving us some moves, and I was teaching. My focus was on teaching the members. So I chose the NASDAQ. Otherwise, the NASDAQ, you know the song, New York, New York, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Same thing, if you can trade the NASDAQ, you can trade anything. Same idea. So there it is. You see, anticipate, and then confirmation pops up, and then there you go. See that? It goes, let's say, from, if you caught it at 28 or 30, it's already at 46. That's 16 points on the NASDAQ. That's a massive win. Okay. Sometimes I would hold a big runner, and I will show you what we had today for a runner. Okay. Now there's another one now coming up, as you see, arrow. I'll put an arrow. There it is, and you will see me clearly looking for a long from the arrow. There it's from the line. I mean, 14210. Remember, if you see here 4210, if you see at 9:14, a student by the name of Preet said 4210, and this is 30 minutes after the market comes back to 4210. So he saw that level as well. And 4210, if you look at this, 4210 is about to hit. You see this? And I'm looking for what? I'm looking for the market to touch it, and I'm looking for the magenta lines to show. There it is. See the magenta line below it, and two more popped up here. And there was another one, maybe you don't see it. It's right at the price. Look. Boom. More exciting thing is that once it gives you confirmation, you would have other things to help you with hold on, to help you with your stop loss. Do you see this this line here? This is our power line. It's also this power line is also going to help you with the decision. You have this arrow to help you with the decision. You have the main important thing, which is the magenta lines, to help you with the decision. Point is, you know where your stop loss is. Your stop loss is going to be sitting below this massive magenta line because the market will have to make an effort to break it. So you know your stop loss ahead of time. Okay, that's why it's a very important system, and students who follow this, they practically addicted to it. Michael, there must be a replay, yes, and I think Sherry will send it to everybody after, since you're registered. So we're looking at this, we're looking at this, we're looking at this, we're looking at this, and see it flies. It flies higher, higher, higher. So far, so good. You understanding the levels and understanding this? Okay. Okay, now another level. The market keeps coming back down, but that's fine. We're scalping. Now I would scalp short if I find a level, but until then I could not find a level. But there will be a level coming up that I'll show you for a short. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a level, this blue line to hit. And where does this blue line coming from? This is the same chart on a 60-minute chart. Look at it here. This is 60-minute chart on the Nasdaq. This is a live session recording this morning. This is not yesterday. This is not last year. This is not last month. This is this morning. So there's a line here. You see how this volume profile area creating two zones. One zone is continuation, and we have a zone which I will explain later. This is a rejection zone, and there's another zone continuation. So in between, there's the rejection line. Okay, and I will explain that. You're welcome, Michael. So now this line is, once I put a line here, it's part of the indicators that I offer. Once you put a line in one chart, it plots on all charts. Now it's plotted on the main chart, which is the chart that I show confirmations from. And what is my confirmation? The line has to hit, I have to see the magenta lines popping. If I'm looking for a long, I have to see magenta lines popping up below the price. Not only popping up, but stabilizing, not just flashing. Staying there for like a second or two, okay? And of course, on the NASDAQ, it's a fast instrument. This was done for training, although I called nice and I got in very nice trades. But if you want to do it with more comfort, you can use the YM, the ES, the crude, or anything else. It has not touched the line yet. Has not touched the line yet. Let's see. It's good because it's bouncing off the 30-minute DRL, as you see the green dotted line. There it is. There's the line. There's the line. There's the magenta line. Boom. And it flies up. Boom. And it comes back down. It gives you that 5-10 points move. And then I don't know if it stays, and it then breaks it. So it would be maybe just a small profit. Okay, but then it stabilizes. No, it stabilizes again. Look, so another one. So this would have been probably a small profit. Then if your stop loss was below the previous magenta line, you would have been stopped out, or maybe just took profits and ran. But then it stabilizes after. Another one. I told everybody I have a level at this 45-minute. You see this red line says 45 minutes here. This is 45-minute DRL, dynamic reversal level. It is, besides the volume profile levels that I choose, we have different instrument or different indicators or studies for Sierra charts that will give us support and resistance levels. And this is a very good one, 45-minute. You see the thick red line here. So I'm waiting for the market to touch it. And I have an arrow sitting there. It touches it. Look at that. The magenta line pops below it. So I'll go back. I'm going to go forward slowly. There it is. And for people who caught it, this was a bigger move actually. I was looking for a big move. I think this one gave us a very nice move. One of them gave me 200 ticks today. The rest were just scalps. All right. This is what I was posting for members as well. I was posting 14090. I'm saying to my members, it's good support. And 14090 is right below. If you see it, it's right here. You see it? So I'm looking for a support in that area. Let's move on. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for confirmation. There it is. So 14090 on the NASDAQ, looking for confirmation. It's a support, and it's also we have DRL 45-minute DRL dotted line that moved to that area. Okay, and I put a line. That's the level. That's a level. See, that's a zone. That's my support level. It pokes, it pokes, it pokes. and then boom, moves up. Take first target, I said 10 points, move your stop loss. Stop loss was at 85, as you saw it. See, I said stop loss at 85. Where is it? Here, here. Stop loss at 85 at this point. So you made 20 points first target or 30 points first target, which is 15 on 2 or 10 on 2, because we do 3 contracts and then it moves up, 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 up. All right. So the final level, 14026 for a long. This was my final level because I was looking for that target from the short earlier. Anyway, I'll explain. Remember this number, 14026. 14026 on NASDAQ. Remember this number, okay? 14026. You see this arrow? This was from the morning. I was looking for this target, and actually we hit it. This was a swing call that I made for members. What did we do? What did I miss? No, didn't miss anything. Okay, go. Okay. Now here, look at the short I'm looking for. Why am I looking for a short here? This is the volume profile, but this volume profile level has, look at this spike. And with this spike, I have magenta line too. So this spike here is a resistance level since it's above the market. This is spike that market makers made. It was not there earlier. It was created after the market moved. So here it is. Watch, I'm looking for the market to touch that spike, and then I'm looking for magenta line. There it is. There it is, and then it shows up again. It was a small move. It gave me maybe 10 points or so, but my main goal was targeting 14030, which is just above the 26 that I mentioned earlier, if you remember. That was the final target. And then eventually the market comes down to it. See that? So that was I mean, for some of you, could be confusing too fast, but I only have 45 minutes at best, folks. I don't have much time to explain. Therefore, the trial is important for you to do. Finally, we got to the level that I was looking for to swing long the market. Watch this, NASDAQ possible long. You see that? If you don't see the students window here, it means this is after 11, after the live room. I'm giving signals on Telegram for members, right? They are mostly swing signals after that. So I'm looking for a long from 26, 14026. Looking for a long, looking for a long. Look at that, boom, touched. And look at the magenta line and the arrow below. Do you see it? The arrow, the magenta line, and it's also a DRL, 120-minute DRL. If this is too fast for you folks, join the trial 2 weeks. You'll have a lot of time to understand it, to copy the trades, to ask questions, right? Then there it is. Confirm the trade. Okay, at one point before I called the trade, look what I said. Look at this window here where I post my signals. I said at 14026, I have a DRL, want to use it if I confirm. So I want to use the DRL, which is 120-minute DRL. If you see it here, the brown line, I want to use it. And it confirms, and then boom, goes back up. As you see, boom, 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 up, up, up. This trade gave me 200 ticks at least, because 120 was a runner by itself. Look at that. Look at that. I'm showing the students everything here. Then I told them I'll exit because I have 70 against me showed up as a, I was looking for a bigger move, but then I said, I'm going to exit because 70 showed up some resistance. You see 70 here? There's an arrow, there's a magenta line, showed up some resistance. I said, I'm going to exit. So this trade gave me a combination of 200 ticks. Okay. This was 14070 area, and I exited just below because it touched it and came back down. And if you see, this is the end of it. It's okay. And if you see where the market went from there, if you go to the NASDAQ, this is the NASDAQ. This is the area that I exited from, 14070. It went all the way down. So if I had kept that runner, I would have lost everything, all the profits that I made on it. I would have just made 180 ticks on the first target that I made. Okay, that was important. All right. So now, so far, I explained to you the confirmation. In a nutshell, folks, I still have 15 minutes, I believe. In a nutshell, folks, these levels here. Let me see what I have on the NASDAQ, for example. These levels here on the volume profile will give you different views. Will give you continuation zones. And let's look at this one here. And if I show you what I mean, this is a smaller chart. Okay. Let me remove this line. So if I look at this could be divided into different levels. For example, I have, do you see this red area? This is considered a continuation zone, here to here. If I see, for example, this level here, this is a continuation zone. In between these two continuations, there's another continuation zone. But of course, it's not as clear as, you know, like when the charts are when the charts go live, and you can always make them clearer by using maybe a higher frame, for example, the 60-minute charts, right? There's the daily as well, 1-day profile, daily profile. But I'll explain to you the concept. The concept is this. Let's assume that your trading style and you use different indicators. For example, any indicators. Okay, so one of your indicators, you're looking for the market to go long, and the market is up, but you're looking for a long. Of course, the trend is long. So you have an indicator here, any indicator here, any basic indicator. And you will notice that, you know, this is, you want to go long from this level. So you decide to go long from here. Maybe the market stops you because you don't have confirmation. You don't know how it works. Again, nothing against you. Don't take it personal, but I'm talking about general, so you understand my point. You get stopped out. You would say, okay, I will take it from here. You take another trade from here, you get stopped out. It goes in your favor after you get stopped out. You say, okay, let me chase it because it might hold. You chase it, you see some green, you're happy, and then it comes back and crushes you. And then from here goes back up. Now, how do you know which of these levels will hold? You don't, unless you have confirmation. Some kind of just like the previous presenter mentioned, some kind of institutional or market makers to help you out. So for me, the volume profile that I showed you, it will give me levels of, not this color, I don't like it. It will give me levels of continuation. This is a continuation zone, for example. And this is a continuation zone, as for example. And this is C, continuation C. In between, we mentioned we have rejection, which I will color in red. So this is your rejection zone. Rejection R. So basically, you're waiting for the market to come back down. If you want to take a trade from here, once you know there's volume profile continuation zone, you will avoid it because it will continue. This is a continuation zone. So you're going to avoid it. The market comes down here, you'll avoid it again because it's still within the continuation zone. When we get to this level, this is when you will think, okay, all right, this is my level, because you already plotted a line here, just like I plot my lines here, and you know this is the level that you're looking for. And then market comes to it. Now, do you know, is it your entry level? This is safer than typical trading because it's already, you know, your stop loss. It cannot be below the 68% of this continuation zone. So you know your stop loss is here anyway. If you get stopped out, it's better than you get stopped out from here or even here. So let's say you don't want to do that because you're waiting for confirmation, because you learned to wait for confirmations. Here, you will have to see the magenta lines or the levels that I showed you popping in. Once they pop in, that's it, that's your long. Okay, it's very simple, but it takes a lot of focus to learn, and it takes time. So if you join me for a trial, please be patient. Okay, please be very, very patient with us. So the strategy is called anticipate, confirm, execute, and this will give me the chance to go through the slides as well. I started in 2001 trading. I held my first public session in a classroom style in 2004, but 2001 I started with regular Forex and then switched to futures. But this was my main thing, bid and ask ladder, which now it's converted to completely what you saw, the indicators that you saw. It's very simple to understand and very simple to manipulate and use. Okay. We offer live trade room Tuesday to Thursday, so 3 days a week, 9 to 11, focused on your training, your education as a new member, also giving signals during the session. Trade signals on Telegram as well are included. If you see here, trade signals I have for indices. We have a channel for elite members, right? I have 152 elite members with me. I have channel for oil, for FX, whether it's FX futures or FX spot, doesn't matter. Okay, and we have the indices. So I give you levels, I give you analysis and everything. Full comprehensive educational, where is it? Here. We have a back office for your full education here, comprehensive education, proprietary indicators for Sierra charts. And I'll tell you why Sierra charts. Let's say we have 6 indicators. All 5 of the indicators, other than the SAL indicator, can be made for NinjaTrader. It's not hard. I had them for NinjaTrader 7 in the past, and they're available for members for NinjaTrader 7. But then for me to make all indicators available for NinjaTrader 8 or NinjaTrader 7, that SAL indicator would I told you about the indicator for magenta that shows magenta lines. These ones here, these magenta lines, that's coming from market depth. That cannot be made on any other chart. I'm sorry. I mean, it cannot be made on any other chart except for Sierra charts. It's accurate. It's perfect. Right? And that's nothing I can control. Once maybe NinjaTrader changes their structure for their market depth, maybe I can do it. But you can see, and you can come and see. It's not hard to switch, or it's not hard to have Sierra charts on the side to look at it. You don't have to use it. You can just look at it for confirmation. And if you don't want to switch to Sierra charts, that's fine. Follow the signals. You can always switch. It's a lifetime membership. You can always do it later in the future. Okay. Follow the signals, follow the education, learn everything. Sometimes one swing trade I'll give you for, let's say, for 600-700, or a few of those will cover the investment. It's not very hard to really cover the investment. And I'm not here to sell you anything because we offer trials. Let me end here this slide. If you go to the website, folks, I hope I need you to understand a few things about the website. First of all, I put it on my website. I had a CFTC case from 2014-15, and it lingered. I didn't pay attention to it. I thought, it's not a big deal. It lingered, but finally it settled, and you can read all about it. There's a lot of misinformation about it on the internet. I want you to see exactly what happened. I know it's here. Everything is here. And I made a video with my students to explain it. And I'm obligated to tell you things as they are because that's what I signed. All right. However, it's here. If you want to read about it, read it from here instead of going through and getting some misinformation on the website. One thing I want you to see, besides the testimonials and everything else, education. I offer free education. So one of the very important here, this one here, this video will clarify all the indicators that I explained. And if I copy this link here, and I can send it to everybody, of course, Also, if you can, Sherry, if you can give the handout to everybody, please, at this time, that will be great. Another video that I want you to watch is this. Where is it? Here. Adult ADD and how it manifests itself in traders. This one was made by Dr. Kenneth Reed, a professional, in 2014, actually. This is, oh my God, 8 years now. So it's been 8 years since this video, but it applies to any time zone, anybody, whether you're trading or you're not trading. This is good for you. It will help you a lot in understanding a lot of things about your personality, specifically traders. Okay. Other than that, going back to the website, I want you also to pay attention to the members area. Once you become a full member, you'll have access to this. For example, level 4, it has a lot of information. It's a bit slow coming up, but it will explain everything to you. A lot of videos. Level 3 is the main one. Level 1 starts with how to install indicators, what do they mean, etc. Crash course on volume profile is important. So my point is there's a lot of education available to you as well, besides the live trade room and everything else. And if you are on the website, you will get the 2-week free trial. Just click here and request your trial. That's how you know what I was talking about in details, because it's 45 minutes not sufficient to explain everything. Okay, 2 weeks trial, you'll get the chance to see me live 3 days a week, and then be on the Telegram with us, ask questions, ask students, etc. But if you scroll to the bottom or the middle of the page, you have our YouTube channel. A lot of videos explaining what I do right here. Okay, so please pay attention to this, look into it. There's a lot of videos about this, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And hopefully I did a good job, despite the fact 45 minutes is never enough to explain this, but please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, now how do they get in touch with you?
It's on the website. Get a
Okay.
trial here. Get a trial,
Yeah.
or just go to contact us. 2 weeks trial or contact us.
Okay, everybody. Did we have any questions for Simon? We still have a couple minutes for him. Yes, Michael Christ, we do have a replay available. All right, so what we want to do is go to the Trader Institute, right? I did put the handout in the chat, so everybody should be able to see that. And then it's got all these links on it. It's an excellent, excellent piece. And what you want to do is just go through it all, like Simon said, just read the website and get in on that trial, right? So, Simon, you know what? Every time you come and visit us, you do mention that 45 minutes is not enough. So, I've put it into the powers that be that we could change this to 60 minutes speaking.
It's not enough. 60 minutes is not enough, because that's why the point is not for you to increase the 45 minutes. Is perfect for recipients' attention span.
That's
But
true.
what I'm trying to focus on is that I have 2 weeks trial.
Yeah.
2 weeks unlimited trial. They can come in and they can join. They can see it for themselves. So even if you do it 1 hour, it's not going to make a difference really. 1 hour or 45 minutes. This is a 2 weeks trial. So because when somebody purchases something, they would rather try it out. If I want to buy a car, I want to go take it for a test drive.
Yes.
I don't want to buy anything. So that's why I don't sell anything. Really, I don't. Even when you want to buy, I can tailor the package towards your needs. Maybe you don't want to do one shot. You want to do it in payment plans. I don't know. It depends. Maybe I'll offer you something better. So
There
it
you
all
go.
depends on your personality and how you fit into this.
Good deal. All right. We have 1 minute left. I don't see any questions. Oh, let me just see something here now. I think I do see one. Let me just see here. Just a second. Yeah, so you're saying what here, this person says, if I don't want to switch to Sierra charts, can I still use your system?
Yes, you can follow my signals because I give signals and they are really, good because, some of them are swings, some of them will go for hundreds of ticks. And then looking at the crude, the gold, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the ES, and some currencies too. So yeah. And you
Perfect.
can always, it's a lifetime membership, so you can always switch whenever you feel like it, whenever you have the time.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really enjoy it when you come, and I know that if everybody on this call and everybody who sees this after the fact, because we do get a lot of views later, if you'll just go and take advantage of that 2-week trial, you're going to see some good stuff. So
Thank you so much.
again,
Thanks everybody.
thank you.
Appreciate
You
your
have a
time.
wonderful day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye now. All right. And I want you to absolutely take a look at that PDF that we linked in the chat. Oh, let's get back to where I was supposed to be. Can you see my screen? It was not over. It's not over yet. We still have 2 speakers to go. And right now, I'm really happy to introduce to you our next speaker, who is Paul Lange of Disciplined Trading Strategies. And he's got rules. He wonders, what rules do you follow? But, the point is that, some of them might not be doing you as much good as you'd like. So I'm going to move this on. Oh, I need to remind you, if you have to leave early, you automatically do get the replay link in your email later today or tomorrow. And in the future, you can listen at tradersexclusive.com. You go there, then you go to Trader Education, then you go to Educational Webinars, and our replay is posted there. Now, our third speaker is Paul Lange, as I just mentioned. He started Disciplined Trading Strategies in August of 2017. Disciplined Trading Strategies is a site for traders and investors. He runs a very popular day trading room, and he also publishes The Long-Term Trader. It's a portfolio for hands-off long-term investors. He also provides a ton of free information at the DTS free stuff page on his website, and assistance. He gives free assistance to new people on his website, and he also has the best seminar program for those who are interested. Paul's a very experienced trader investor with 20 plus years in the trenches every day. He spent many years at Pristine Trading. Paul, I apologize. You sent me a new bio, and I think I might have kept some things in there that you might not want me to say. So I'm going to let you take it away now, and you can fix what I just did. Is that all right with you? Let's see. I think you must be privately muted. Let me see. Oh, yeah. You are self-muted. Wait a minute. Now I might have muted you. Nope. There you go.
I think I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Good.
All
Sound
right.
good, everybody? And do you have a slide up there? Do you see it? Okay.
Sounds
What rules do you
good.
follow?
I see. What rules do you follow? Yes, sir.
Wow, this is a first, Sherry. First time we ever got this right away. All right.
I know.
And I'm kind of on time. I usually get pushed back a few minutes. Great. All right. Hi, everybody. Paul Lange, Disciplined Trading Strategies, like Sherry just said. I may, depending on how you view trading or what you're here for, everybody's here for a purpose. I mean, you're sitting here listening to 3 or 4 presenters throughout the afternoon. And typically find a lot of people who are in that position are people who are kind of just trying to get their feet wet, trying to figure out if they want to maybe manage their long-term stuff, or maybe you have some time and money and want to make some extra income day trading. And I find a lot of people are kind of just out there, kind of kicking the tires, as I like to say a lot. Probably the most common person I get coming to me is somebody who's taken already several types of training classes, or maybe they were just some videos they watched and isn't having a lot of success, so they come and want to talk to me. And sometimes people are just kind of new and they understand they have to look around a little bit. So what I go through today, I'm going to have some slides that won't be that boring, but I want to talk to you just for a minute first. You may consider it kind of boring what I have to say, but I also think it may be some of the more important comments that you ever hear attending any kind of presentation like this. Here's what was advertised for today. We're going to talk about some rules, good and bad rules. And one of my big concepts when I teach and my whole thing about technical analysis is that so many people don't like it or believe in it because they never really learned it properly. I'm here to tell you technical analysis absolutely works, and it is truly the only way to trade the market. I'll go into that more in a minute. But there's so many people that just don't ever learn it right. So they have a bad reputation from it, or they have a bad concept of it because it just doesn't work for them in a way because they don't understand what it's supposed to do. So I want to go over some rules that people sometimes follow. I want to talk about some misconceptions. I want to talk about what I call cookie cutter patterns, these very simple patterns that people try to follow, and they think that's the secret to the market. I want to apologize when I come on and guest speak like this. I don't listen to anybody else. I tune in 5 minutes before I'm supposed to make sure I'm all logged in and ready to go. So I never want to step on anybody's toes. And I'm the first one to say there are a lot of different ways to make money in the market. So with that being said, I have to tell you what I believe, and that is that there are no shortcuts to trading. And I think when I say trading, I use that term interchangeably with investing. Trading, investing, long-term, short-term. I like both. Day trading, a couple hours a day, I like to day trade in the morning. That's it, not sit there all day. I like long-term investing. Everybody should like that because you can do a better job than any mutual fund does. I think you're all aware of that. But what I want to get into first is what I started to say. I don't want to step on any toes, but to me, there is no shortcut to learning what you're doing. There's no magic. There's no great indicator software, anything. It's just learning how to read a chart, because a chart is the synthesis of all the information out there. Fundamental analysis is worthless, and it's not because it's wrong necessarily. It's because it's built into the chart already to an unknown quantity. If you are out there saying that I'm going to go look up some fundamentals on a company, and I feel that the company is worth $25 based on what I just looked up and is trading at $20, so I'm going to go long the stock until it fulfills its actual value at 25. That's just a stupid comment. It's a silly comment. You can't do that. Stock is worth what it's worth right now. It's what millions of people have gotten together, decided the price of any stock you want to talk about, and that is what it is worth right now, period. So it's not that technical analysis, it's not that fundamental analysis or listening to news is necessarily wrong. It's just that it's useless to do. And I think many of you have found that out. Technical analysis is the synthesis of everything out there. Quick discussions. I'm going to go into, at the end, I'll put a slide up, talk more about who I am. You can ask any questions, but I kind of feel that people don't really care who's talking to them. You care about what I have to say. If you like what I have to say, you'll probably follow up and go to the website and find out some stuff. And if you don't like who I am, then I'm not going to waste my time telling you right now. And Sherry gave you a quick introduction anyhow. I offer a tremendous amount of quality free information on the free stuff page. And Sherry, if you could type that out there for everybody. And I feel that is actually the greatest source of valuable free information anywhere on the internet about trading. I know there are probably bigger sites, but those bigger sites, the information is somewhat useless. This is some really good information that you can use. And for a lot of people who are just looking, I find the average person who eventually decides to do something with DTS with me, whether it be to join something or to take a seminar program, they usually hang around for quite a long time. And if you're going to decide to get an education, it's a big decision because you don't want to be doing it over and over again. And one of the great things about the free stuff page is there are lots and lots of videos of me, like, well, just like I'm talking now, different events on different topics. I have almost 5 years of them, probably a couple times a month, doing different topics all the time. And it's an immense source of information, number one. And number two, it gives you a chance to get to know me. So if you listen to me and you hear me talk about fundamentals being useless and you're an idiot, if you listen to them and you don't like me saying that, you don't have to ever tune into me again. But if I strike a chord with you, you may just hang around and listen to some more. You could spend the entire week on the free stuff page. You won't get through everything. But when you go there, look up at the top, there's an archive page, only the most recent couple dozen videos, both in terms of trade of the week videos and in terms of the prior events, are listed on the free stuff page. The rest you have to click and go to the archive page because there's 5 years worth of stuff if you really want to get into it. There's also something called the Hall of Fame section, which are the top videos picked by DTS members, so you might want to start there. There are paid for services at DTS. I'm not going to go into those or what they are because you don't care unless you like me and unless you want to follow up. But I do want to point out there's never sales. I don't have any offer for you today. I don't have any specials, so you can sit back and relax. Is not going to conclude with some big sales presentation. I just want to share some of my knowledge of charts with you. And if I can just strike a chord with, you know, a few of you listening, I've done my job as far as I'm concerned. And maybe for some of you, it'll just make you kind of go, I get what I get a lot is people who've never heard me before, and they email me or if you get a follow-up email from me sometime in the future, and you probably won't get one for a week or two. I don't nag you right away. I give you some time. And people get back to me and say, I remember you because you were just sitting there talking to us. So if you like that, good. If you don't like it, well, then you don't like it. No special, just want to share some information as helpful as I can. I know many of you are not ready yet or want to learn on your own. DTS can help you do that. Again, if you want to do the best you can trying to learn on your own, or if you want to learn while you're waiting to maybe someday get professionally trained, it's a great spot to be. So you can, at the free stuff page when you're there, there's also a spot on the top where you can sign up to get a little consultation with me, a quick little session if you want to get together and do some chart review or talk about your goals, whatever it is. You can feel free to do that as well. I'm actually bored most of the day. I trade usually a couple hours in the morning, and DTS kind of runs itself for the most part, so I have time most afternoons, and I'm actually bored most afternoons. But if you're ready to learn, remember there are no quick fixes to learning to trade, and that's what I really want to emphasize again. It's common sense, and most of you should understand it as common sense. You know, if there was some magical special thing out there, what I really want to emphasize is that I would use it. I mean, I have one primary goal, and that primary goal is not actually to teach other people. My first primary goal is for me to make money all the time. That's my primary goal, because if I'm not doing that, it doesn't do any good to try and show anybody else. My second goal is to teach everyone else how to do that. But with the goal of wanting to make money, if there was something out there that helped me, I would use it, wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? Why couldn't I take into whatever I do and incorporate, here's the magic reverse cannon shot chart indicator that makes profits like crazy. If something like that worked, I would pull it out and use it, you know, all the time. And I've seen everything. I'm you know, at the point when people show me stuff, I'm not even listening anymore, because you can get easily tricked. And I just want to make sure that you understand, when you see something, you understand the difference between correlation and causation. I mean, I could show you that the way to make money in the market is whenever the Rams win a football game on Sunday is to go long the market Monday morning. And I could go show you 27 examples of when that worked over the last 5 years. But that doesn't mean that it works. It doesn't mean it's worth anything. It doesn't mean that it caused that. And that's what you have to look for when you are exploring different ways to make money. Now, as I said, there's different ways to make money. My way is not the only way, but my way is simply the concept of reading charts. I call it the language of charts. Not here with any system indicator. I've been doing this a long time. I kind of said some of this before I turned the slide. There's no shortcut. My version is called the language of charts. And maybe there's just my preference to do it this way. Maybe it's an unescapable truth that there is no other way to trade the market. You'll have to decide that. If you've been around a while, a lot of what I'm saying maybe is ringing true with you. If you're new, perhaps you have to go out and find some of this out for yourself, because a lot of times people don't believe it until they go try a few different things and try the shortcuts and try the grass is always greener approach on the other side, until they realize that a lot of things just don't work. Here's what I want to go into today. Question for you all. Are these good rules? Sure, I don't know if I can see people type or not. I think you have to turn that on. Not a big deal. I know people usually are not typing a whole lot in these, but
I can do that. Just a second.
Okay, I'll ask some questions if you guys want to join in. That's fine. And the purpose of this is, you know, I've talked to a lot of people, and I get a lot of newer people.
You should have access to them now.
Follow. Now, rules are great. I mean, that's what you need to have as a trader. Your life earning, your income, your business as a trader depends on following the rules. But the question always is, what are you following? And I have people tell me rules they're following that just make no sense at all. As a matter of fact, they defy the very ability to make money. So here's some that I want to explore. And there's 4 there: never short an uptrend. And of course, the reverse of that, you know, bullish, bearish would be never buy a downtrend. Is that a good rule or not? Never short a stock that's green on the day, meaning if the daily bar, and that won't be like a day trading concept, of course. If the stock is green on the day, if it's above the open, you should never short a stock. And likewise, you'd never go long a stock that's red on the day. Is that a good rule to follow? Never short a stock that's at the high of the day. Is that a good rule to follow? Never buy a stock that's at the low of the day would be the counterpart. Never short a strong stock. Is that a good rule? Never buy a weak stock. Are these good rules or not? If you looked up your, what I like to call the Cracker Jack box of trading rules and went to your favorite free videos on the internet, you probably see a lot of these rules, along with a lot of other concepts that are taught that are not only, I think, poorly worded to be nice or just dead wrong to be not so nice. I think you find a lot of these out there. Don't catch a falling knife. Traders who try to pick bottoms end up with sticky fingers. Most of these apply to any time frame except a couple of these discuss specifically where the stock is on the day, so those would be day trading concepts. And again, I want to emphasize I'm both long-term, love long-term, and also day trade, so it's both. And the nice thing about technical analysis is you only need to learn one thing. You learn how to read a chart. And it doesn't matter if that chart is stocks, if it's futures, if it's Forex. I have both futures and Forex traders as well that have studied under me. I personally like stocks myself. It doesn't matter if you're long-term on a monthly chart. It doesn't matter if you're day trading on a 1 minute chart. It's one concept you need to learn, how to read a chart, period. That's all there is to it. Let's look at this first one. Never buy a downtrend or short an uptrend. Here's the question for you. A little chart's being drawn there. Whatever definition you use for a downtrend, I think we'd all agree that is a downtrend. This may be basic to a good trader, but I get this question a lot. And the question is, can you buy that downtrend? Does anybody have any comments for me on that? Besides yes, yo, can you ever go long right there? Could you ever go long right there? That is a downtrend. Can you go long there? I'm not sure if I get any comments from you guys or not, but I'm going to continue on either way. If you want to type, feel free to type. The answer to that is absolutely yes, you can, because we are looking at one time frame. One of the biggest secrets, if you will, I hate to use that word because I think it's a poor word, but one of the biggest concepts to trading is understanding the cross section of multiple time frames. To me, if there were 3 or 4 of the key things to understand, it's just that. And what is a downtrend on one time frame may be an uptrend on another time frame. If you see that big green line there, for example, that big green line is a day trader, maybe it could be your 15-minute chart, and the smaller silver line is your 2-minute chart. Or as a bigger trader, maybe it's the weekly chart in an uptrend, daily, hourly chart in a downtrend. Because all the time I'll go to take a trade and people say to me, Paul, you're going long in a downtrend, and they don't understand, well, the time frame I'm trading is not a downtrend. So never buy a downtrend that without any more information. That's just a bad rule to follow. And maybe you understand that already, that it means per time frame, but based on the number of questions I get that people that don't understand this. And if this is at all confusing to you, then you are definitely in the very, very early stages of learning technical analysis, because this is what I would call very basic stuff. An example, I like to pick out examples to show that, not just theoretical stuff, a trade from the trading room on Amgen. And the question, as you see right there, would you ever go long Amgen, or would you short it right there? What would you do right there for Amgen? It's unquestionably that day. This, of course, is a 5-minute chart. So this is the day break. It was sideways into the close. We broke down under yesterday and free fell. Is that a short or a long? Well, if you follow the rule, you can never go long a downtrend, you would never go long that. But the truth of it is, it actually is a great long, because again, if you look at the rest of the time frames, which I'll show you here now, it's never turned out to be a great trade. It made almost the day's goal, but not quite. But it was a great entry down there. It was a perfect entry going right there, because here was the bigger time frame. Here's the Amgen chart, and the day before it had gapped above a whole lot of stuff, rallied up. And then this next day it pulled back. So there's your normal pullbacks and profit taking. And we look to that area to be viable. So again, if I go back to that 5-minute chart, this low right here, can you see my arrow, by the way, anyone, and or Sherry? I'm not sure on this system if you can. Can you see my mouse arrow pointing at the bottom of those green bars there?
I can see it when you move it.
Okay. Oh, entire audience, I had to click on the right thing here. There we go. Okay. So that low right there is is this low right here on the hourly chart, as you can see. And there's a lot of other little things on this chart, maybe some of you can recognize. 10 o'clock reversal time, an incredible concept for a day trader that so many people don't seem to recognize. That little quasi-bullish engulfing bar, the first higher low, a little breakout on the 2-minute chart, that was there. Just an absolutely perfect entry, correlates with a higher time frame. So the first rule without other information is just a bad concept to follow. You need to buy downtrends in some time frame in order to make money. Think about it. If you're in an uptrend in every time frame, you're buying the high, the high, the high, the high, and you're not going to make money that way. Never buy a stock that is red on the day. Here's another rule, meaning we open the day, there's our day break, the stock falls all morning. Let's say it falls for a half hour. And that means if you were to look, we have an hour we fell. If you were to look at the daily chart, you have a big red bar on the daily chart. And there are people that I hear this rule they have that you should never go long if the daily bar is red. What do you think of that rule? Good rule, bad rule, stupid rule? Good rule sometimes. Again, this is just a stupid rule. I hate to use the hard language like that, but I mean, if you're following a rule like this, you don't understand what you're doing at all, because it all depends on the pattern. It's not about rules. It's not about single line cliches. It's not about cookie cutter patterns. It's not about following one line. It's understanding what a chart does. And take a look, if this were the pattern going into the day. See what I drew there? This is, for example, maybe the hourly chart. We pull back, and the pullback is perhaps a beautiful uptrend pullback buy opportunity. But just because this bar started at the height of the last rally, it's red on the day. See, when you take any single chart, any single candlestick I always look at, but when you take any single chart and look at it in a vacuum, you could stop the chart anywhere that we choose to. You know, on a 5-minute chart, we start a new bar, a new candle every 5 minutes. On a daily chart, we start a new one every day. So just because we happen to say ding, 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 4 o'clock, let's close the day out, we closed at the high. If we would have stayed open or not, it wouldn't have mattered. The pullback would have come. And just because we started the new candle here, it's red. But that doesn't mean that it's bearish at all. It's the whole pattern that you have to look at. And that's a very common rule a lot of traders like to follow. Here is the chart of FITB, Fifth Third Bank. And you can see down here, where are we here, in the 5-minute chart, that this was shorted off the top when the stock was very green. It was shorted right there, almost right at the high. It went one more notch higher, it was shorted right there. And at the time that that was shorted, the daily chart, see that bar right there? That's what it looked like at the end of the day, a big topping tail. But the day it was shorted, at the moment it was shorted, it looked like that. So you're shorting the biggest green bar on the chart. Now, sometimes that might be a bad thing to do. Sometimes you wouldn't want to do that. It depends on that green bar daily chart and what that green bar means. It depends if it's an exhaustion bar in a resistance, or if it's a new igniting bar that's clearing resistance. It would all have different implications. But go back and take a look. That high there, then running right up into there, that's what was shorted here. And then of course the stock falls the rest of the day. And this one made a really nice profit. It made, you know, about 2.5 times a day's gold, about 2.5 risk units, just sitting back. And by the way, when I day trade after getting into this, at some point, you know, late morning, I walk away typically for most of the afternoon. I just check in occasionally, and the room stays open. I have a trading room, but I'm done talking usually by 10:30 or so. And if you think that's silly, if you think that, you know, what a terrible trader, how can you just walk away and leave positions open like that? Well, you put a trail stop on it where you want to, and you'd be surprised. You may find, for me definitely, and I think for most good traders, that you will probably make a lot more money leaving the screen than you will sitting there over managing everything that you ever do. I don't know if any of you can relate to that or not. I don't think I'm really getting your typing, so I'll have to wait to the end for Sherry to relay any comments. So what do we have next here? So we have, the next one is never short a stock that's at the high of the day, or never buy a stock that's at the low of the day, that should say. So here we have a stock that's been rallying throughout the morning, going into lunch, late morning, whatever, and the daily bar is a huge green bar. And the question here is, well, do you ever short the high? Do you just short the high of the day, or even a new breakout? Can you short a new breakout on the daily chart? And the answer is yes, sometimes. Everybody has the misconception that a breakout above several prior days highs or whatever is bullish, and it's not always bullish. Sometimes a new high brings in buying, and sometimes a new high brings in selling, and rightfully so. And many of you have probably discovered this. If you buy quote unquote breakouts that are not of the right setup, you probably find that you stop out almost immediately on them and you think technical analysis does not work. You have to open the question section. Oh, I think I got that open. I'm not sure. That's okay. I'm just going to keep going here. So here is the bigger pattern again. So would I ever short that? The answer is yeah, of course I would. As a matter of fact, how do you make money if you don't short something near the high of the day? My whole goal would fly in the face of this so-called rule, and then my goal as a day trader is to short the high of the day. If you short the high of the day, you can't lose money, can you? If you buy the low of the day, you can't lose money. That's the whole goal. So by understanding cross-section of multiple time frames and understanding where the right areas are, the high of the day does not necessarily mean much. And when the high of the day runs into reversal time, going into lunch, runs into a prior area, and the rest of the bigger pattern says that it may be a bearish type setup, those are the perfect opportunities. So let me show you an example here. This is GT, and this stock had a huge red bar on this particular day. And it's not the red bar day I'm talking about. I wasn't even aware of that day. It's the next day that we're going to gap up above the whole afternoon's trading range. So let me quick over. So there's the 1 minute chart. So we gapped up this day, and we're gapping over a whole lot of the prior day's trading. So what had happened here down here, we fell really hard, and then we consolidated near the lows down here, and the next morning we gap over a lot of that. Now, first common thing a lot of people say is, and let me ask you the question, whether I see your answers or not, think about it a minute. Gapping up into this red bar and you look to your left and you see nothing there, is that a good long trade? In other words, is it a good long trade because there's no resistance there? I don't see anything to the left until I get up to like $18.50. Is that a good long trade because there's no resistance? What do you think? Answer is no. It is a terrible concept. As a matter of fact, there is more resistance in here than you will see in any other pattern in history. It's a huge resistance. Again, another one of those rules, and I didn't put it as part of today's presentation, but there's this thing I hear a lot, well, look to the left, and if you don't see anything, there's no resistance. That is silly. It doesn't make sense. It defies everything about technical analysis. This hard drop traps people, and every time you try and rally, you're going to see selling from people. Look, think of all the people that are up here that were long, and they stepped out for a cup of coffee, or they're at work all day and they come home and they're down 20 times the amount of money they're supposed to be down. Guess what? Every time this stock rallies, people are selling into it. So this next day, guess what? Stock rallied, fell, rallied, fell. Guess what I shorted? I shorted the new high of the day. Shorted that. Why would you do that? Well, because I understand charts, I know technical analysis, and I know that that is likely going to be the best entry. Now, I wasn't right off the high. I almost could have done it on the high. It was just after it proved to me that that new high was not going to follow through. So it was short there, and that turned out to be the high of the day because I know that that pattern is going to bring in a lot of selling. What if you wait until you have proven weaknesses? This is what a lot of traders like to do, is to say, well, I want proof it's going lower. And they wait and wait and wait until, well, if you understand the chart and you short way up here, you make a ton of money, right? If you wait for here and you short, well, you don't make any money. You make, what does the chart say here? I think I put a funny word here. Yeah, you make bupkis. Bupkis is a Yiddish word for nothing. When you have the setups, you have to know them well enough to get in to make money. When you're right, I know this is going to scare some of you, but when you're right, you have to make money. You have to make money from your good trades. So many people, they have some good trades. They don't really make any money from them. They sit there and overmanage them. They sit there and they say, well, you know, I'm down this week or I'm down today, so if I take this money now, I'll kind of get back to break even. If you have that mentality, you've been taught to minimize losses, and you are actually on a plan where your goal is to break even. And that is what exactly you'll do. You'll break even all the time because that's what your goal has become through scared trading. Does that hit home with any of you? I know it does for a lot of people when I talk to them, because I talk to an awful lot of people who have a reasonable understanding of a chart, but can't make money from doing it. Last one, never, when is my time up? I'm up at 3:15. Okay, so we'll have plenty of time here. Then the last one, never short a strong stock. This is not really a new concept. It's just a broad statement that covers all the prior slides. And like all the prior slides, it's a matter of how you define strong or weak. It's not that simple. You can't learn to make money. You know, trading the market, obviously, I kind of go two ways with it. You know, on one hand, it's easy. I mean, what you're doing is kind of simple. People say, oh, but you're going up against market professionals. No, you're not. You're not going against market professionals. Not at all. You're trading with market professionals. That's what you're doing. You're reading a chart to understand. And when I say professionals, you can put that in quotes. I don't know who's professional or not, but the people with the big money, the ones that have the big accounts that are buying hundreds of thousands, millions of shares over a period of time that are making the charts move, those are the ones we're following. We're not fighting them. So when you know what you're doing, trading is pretty simple. But on the other hand, I also warn people, you have to learn what you're doing. It's not that simple. You can't follow some stupid rules. So people who say something like, well, don't short a strong stock, it depends what you mean by strong. You have to define that and define it on a chart, what you mean. Because there's two types of strong. There's strong like this and strong like that. And then I have a question here for you. The difference between strong like this and strong like this, the little mouse, the difference is relative to what? What's the difference relative to? While you're maybe answering that, I'm going to make sure and see if oh, there we go. I was on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, and now I see you guys typing. Who's got an answer to that question? I can see you guys typing. I saw Bradley said correct yes to something else. The difference is relative to what? To compare man to man, mouse to mouse. It is relative to the time frame that you're looking at, right? In other words, if I have a weak hourly chart, I want to short a strong 5-minute chart. That's how you make money, by understanding the idiots are going long right now. Here come the idiots. They're all going long, long, long. Let's let them get done. Okay, the idiots are done buying, and here we go. Here comes the professional money. Bam, now we hop on board. So what may appear to be strong to you on one time frame, you short that because the bigger time frame says weak. So the difference is just relative to the time frames that you're trading. And again, understanding time frames and really understanding technical analysis at a really great level is what is so very, very important. So I wanted to leave a little bit of time for questions and also to go over a couple other things. These are, again, my point today is not to, there's nothing for you to buy here. If you like what I have to say, if you want to learn how to make money in the market, if you're looking at doing that down the road, later this year, later this month, right away, whatever it is, check out the free stuff page, set up a time to talk to me if you want to. What I want to give you here is just a sampling of how I look at charts, the language of charts. And this is just a small gathering of a few little things. Truly understanding charts means we're going from step A all the way through step Z and going through everything there is to understand about learning charts. Just to give you an idea, the seminar program I do teach, and I'm not here to tell you to go take it, but for those who are interested, it's 3 full Saturdays, and I suggest people take it at least 3 times in a row to be able to understand what's there. And it's not that it's difficult, it's just that you have to understand it. I believe that you don't need any more than the intelligence or the mathematical skill of a 5th grader to be able to trade, but you need the discipline and you need to be able to understand it. To help people understand it, this last year at DTS, I created a home study program so that all of the courses are actually on home study, so you can listen to them. The live classes still happen every 6 to 8 weeks, well, around 8 weeks, and the home study is also available to you to listen on your own. But it does require some participation on your part, like any skill that you want to learn, whether you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a bricklayer, a plumber. All these things require learning, education, skill, hands-on, and somebody standing there for a while apprenticing you, telling you, hey, you didn't do that right. You know, it's not how I told you to do it. For all of you here, if you, Sherry, maybe you could just toss out the homepage there, because on the homepage, there's a couple places you can click to become a member of DTS. If I want to ask you to do one thing today, it's just become a member of DTS. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to give your name. You have to give an email if you want to receive emails. You have to give an email that you actually look at. But if you just give your email, you will get invitations to events at DTS and to educational emails that go out. And the first one that you'll get invited to is going to be Friday. This Friday, I teach a class called Introduction to Mastering Technical Analysis, and I invite everybody, all the members of DTS. So if you're not a member of DTS, you won't get invited, but if you click where Sherry is, if you look at the center of the homepage, there's actually a little thing talking about this, the Introduction to Mastering Technical Analysis class that's going to be this Friday. I think it's April 22nd, right? And it's a half-day class, so I go through and teach a whole lot of concepts that are about trading. Now, it's not the actual technical analysis. I don't want to disappoint you. That class starts the next day on Saturday, and it starts the next leg of the seminar program the next 3 Saturdays. But that first Friday, I guarantee you will learn, even if you've been trading 10 years, if you've never been to this, I guarantee you will learn some really great things that will help you in your trading. It's a lot of peripheral stuff, partly because I don't want to take time during the actual seminar classes to go into some of this, because it's things I could really teach to everybody. I mean, there's nothing wrong teaching it to everybody. So become a member of DTS, sign up for that, and you'll get an invite to that automatically. And I want to just conclude with something else. For all of you that are out there toying around or been trading for 2 years and you're breaking even or losing a little bit of money, whatever it is, at some point this is up to you. And I want you to read some of these bullet points here and then get ready if you have any questions. This is a business. This is not a game. It's not gambling. It's not, you know, something to do for fun. It's a business. You have to learn what you are doing, and then you have to check to see if you are doing what you should be doing. This is one of the biggest problems. People say that they learn a certain concept on a chart and they say they're doing that, and then when they show me what they're doing, they're not doing what they said they were doing. They're doing something completely different. Trading can be very emotional, and part of the reason for that is because you have the ability to make a former week's salary in one morning, in an hour, or whatever it is, and that really messes with people's heads. You know, you have to know that if you stray, if you're still doing it right. And this is one of the things about having like a coach-like person to help you through a seminar program, is for somebody to say, hey, that's not what you were taught. Because how do you know if you take trades and they don't work out right? How do you know if you did them properly? Because some trades don't work. It's about odds. So you could take a trade perfectly well executed, it just doesn't work. How do you know the difference in the beginning? It's tough. Here's a key one too that I want you all to remember. At some point, discipline is between your ears and no trick will work. There's a lot of things to try to help you get disciplined, but at some point it comes down to, it's just like being on a diet. Either you're going to follow your diet or you're not. If you don't want to follow it, you're not going to lose weight if that's what you're supposed to do. The biggest tool to have discipline is to have confidence. How do you get confidence? Go back to the top of the list. Learn what you are doing. Does anyone have any questions? Because I think that is pretty much my spiel for you for today. There's me. And I suggest the best way to get to know me is to go to that free stuff page, listen to some of my videos, and feel free to email me if you have any questions. Do we have any questions, anybody? We have 7 minutes left, just right for questions. What do we got? Sherry, did you get any? Very helpful. Thank you, Bradley. Again, this may be boring to some of you, but you know what I say all the time to the trade? Anybody here from the trading room? What do I say all the time about good trading? Good trading should be what? For anybody who knows the answer to that question, good trading should be. Can I type here?
Good trading should be boring. I don't think that was the answer, was it?
It is the answer. Good trading should be boring.
It should be boring? I thought maybe it should be fun.
Well, you know, you must know me from a while back. I always just say that too. Trading is fun. It is fun. But it should be boring. I mean, it should be just almost a statistical thing. It shouldn't be like high fives all around when you get a winning trade and throw your mouse through the window when you get a losing trade.
Or suicidal, yeah.
Yeah, it's boring. It's like, okay, you know what? I know my stats. This is what I do every week. This is what I do every month. If I had a losing trade, it's no big deal because I know I'm going to come back and have some winning trades. And It should be just simply boring. It should be methodical. It should be, and unfortunately for most traders, it's not. It's like every day is a new experience. It's like going out, what do I do now?
Right?
What do I find?
Yeah, the roller coaster is not the good place to be.
Exactly.
All right.
Yep.
So do you guys have any questions? Would you go to your website to the free stuff page and show them, don't you have a free trial where they can come in and try some things out?
Yeah, absolutely. When you, if you, I'm not sure how I pull up my page here with the way I'm set up here, but
Okay.
when you sign up to be a free member, you will get some follow-up emails. Sure, they'll get some emails that will guide them if they want to take a trial. But yeah, you can take a trial to the DTS trading room if you like day trading. And I suggest if you have even 1 or 2 mornings free. Again, I'm generally done by 10:30, 11, at least with doing trades. I let things play out. So if you have a couple mornings free, I think it's worth it to come. You can get a trial to a letter that's called the Daily Market Letter. And then I have a long-term trader letter. You can't really get a trial to that because it doesn't make sense for a long-term type of thing, but you can sign up for a month at a time if you want to, or whatever you want to do. So yeah, you can do all that. And again, if anybody's confused, just email me, and I'm pretty good about getting back to people within a day or two at least. Okay.
Oh, and I just saw a little hidden nugget here. When you go to the free stuff page and you scroll down a little ways, there is a free 20-minute coaching session with Paul. So you guys should click there and schedule that. I listen with one ear because I'm over here working on a couple of other things and setting up the next event. But I just got to,
only want to mention it
you're
once,
done so early.
I didn't want everybody to do that necessarily, so I just mentioned it once really quick. Make it a little hard to find.
Oh, well, you'll just have to tell me that stuff in advance from now on. But I mean, look at all the webinars, the blogs, the vlogs. There are educational videos on controlling slippage, tradability of stocks, beware of these 2 time frames. I mean, I can't believe the amount of resources you have on here. Like a new person could come in here, and if they looked at all your stuff, they should be getting like a super foundation, so that when they did have time to meet with you, that's something. We always say there's no stupid question. Well, yeah, kind of there is, because 99% of the time, people who go ahead and ask questions before they've heard the whole presentation, they find out later that their question would be answered. And they also find out later that if they had listened to the whole thing, they could have asked a much more intelligent question to move them further along the line. So going in here and taking advantage of all your resources is a really good way to put a solid foundation down, and a solid way of figuring out, where they might be able to tweak what they do anyway.
Yeah, Sherry, let me just add one thing, because I know it's an issue for some people. Is I'm very proud of the students that I've trained, and I have to tell you that the majority of them are, well, not the majority, because there's so many people that have had some kind of prior education, but an awful lot of them are people that are new to the market. I mean, you don't have to have any. As a matter of fact, I prefer somebody with no experience. I have a lot of people that are doing great that are just new. They just came from, they had some time and they said, hey, what's the stock market thing about? And they work out great. As a matter of fact, the more education you have, in many ways, the more difficult it is to train you properly.
Right. Then all those are things you have to not do, or you have to forget. You have to untrain yourself to be able to train, retrain.
And sure, I have a question here on the screen. Let me answer for Bradley real quick.
Okay.
I personally don't do Forex, Bradley. I just never got into it. I do futures sometimes, but I mostly like stocks. And Bradley, if you look at the resource page, one that on the free stuff page, Sherry just mentioned a video called Timeframes to Trade. It goes into the difference about why I like stocks so much. Now, I do futures sometimes, but I don't have the patience to do only futures. But what I teach can be applied totally to Forex and futures in terms of taking education. It's 100% good. As a matter of fact, I have futures and Forex traders that take the education. But personally, when you come to the trading room, I do a lot of market commentary, and sometimes we'll do the futures, but meaning just trade the market. But generally speaking, I like stocks because of the variety, and you can read about that on one of those videos called what time frames to trade. Okay.
Perfect. All right, you still have 1 minute left. What are you going to leave us with?
I think that's it. I'll just leave you with, I think I closed perfectly. I'll leave a minute for the next person to jump in early and get going with it.
He might take it too.
All right.
All right. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Sherry.
Paul. That was wonderful. And folks, please do go over to disciplinedtradingstrategies.com/free stuff, free-stuff. I did put the link in the chat in the questions. I put it in the chat for everyone. So thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thanks, Sherry. Take care, everybody.
I'm going to become the presenter again. And our last speaker of the day is in the wings, waiting as we speak. We are going to hear from Dan Passarelli of Market Taker Mentoring on ex-floor trader reveals his secrets to trading earnings. We know that as a trader, it's your mission to empower yourselves with the knowledge you need to invest successfully. And that's why we've invited Dan here today. He's a trader, an author, and a world-renowned trading expert, a former member of the CBOE and the CME. He's a frequent contributor to Bloomberg Business Television, Fox Business News, CBOE TV, and he is also a resource journalist, an invited speaker educating traders for organizations such as NASDAQ, CBOE, the International Securities Exchange, CME Group, Fidelity Investments, TradeStation, TheStreet.com, and the Shanghai Futures Exchange, and that's just to name a few. He's also a marathon runner, a musician, a world traveler. I think I've heard recently that he was in Belgium. Please welcome Dan Passarelli.
Hey, Sherry.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Long time no talk.
I know. I hope Belgium was good to you.
It was good. It was Copenhagen. It was Copenhagen.
Oh, nice. Belgium. I said Belgium. Sorry, it was Denmark. Denmark is Copenhagen. Sorry about that. It's all European, you know. Just kidding. I'm going to make you the presenter now, and then I will step out and let you take over. How about that?
That is super awesome, and I'm looking forward to doing just that.
Okay, take it away.
Let's see here. Let's see if I get my correct screen showing here. Oh, got to hit show my screen. There we are. All right. Well, hey, I'm really glad to be here with everyone. How you feeling today? I guess you can hear me. And so, hey, today we're going to talk about how earnings can become your most popular trade. Before we get started, I need to point out that options are not for everyone, and you should read characteristics and risks of standardized options before trading. And you can get a copy of that by calling 1-888-OPTIONS. Each of us has the power within us to make trading a source of continuous wealth. And today I'm going to share with you how to unlock that power. This is my promise to you. I'm going to share with you how you can replace uncertainty with confidence so that you can profit consistently no matter what the stock market's doing using this simple, data-driven, real money proven earnings trading system that hundreds of our students have used to go from that demoralized feeling, we've all felt at some time, to that feeling of satisfaction and self-assurance that we all know is possible. And that is powerful. This can literally transform your life because when you're confident, you trade better. And when you trade better, you're more confident. It's a positive circle. It's easier to experience than you think. This technique I'm going to share with you makes it possible. It uses my proprietary earnings trading system. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share how you can take the next step and get started by getting immediate results. How does that sound? Does that sound like a fair deal? Go down and hit that questions box for me and let me know what you think. Are you liking this? Give me a big old yes if you wouldn't mind. All right, I got several yeses. That's awesome. You guys are great. I love it. So in order to get the most out of this, I ask that throughout this presentation and afterwards, make this about you. Shut off your cell phone, close your Facebook, and let yourself get immersed in what I'm about to share. Let it become part of you and let it in. Now, be sure to stay till the end of the presentation. The most important things I'll share come later. If you have questions, write them down. I will get to them all. And I'm going to run a little bit long. Since I'm the last presenter, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of extra stuff, if you don't mind. That sound great? All right, so let's keep it positive and let's have some fun. This is a pictorial representation of who I am, what I do, and some of the organizations that I've worked with. I traded for years down on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange, wrote 2 of the most popular books on option trading. I worked with every major options broker in the US and abroad, as well as pretty much all the options exchanges in the world too. And I get to be on TV a lot. I guess if you spend enough time in an industry, 29 years in trading for me, you get to do some pretty cool things. But enough about me, let's talk about you. I know some of you have traded earnings in the past, and I know some of you have not. Here's the thing, if you have traded earnings, I can help you do it better and be more profitable with less risk. If you have not traded earnings in the past, then you are in the right place at the right time, because I am the foremost expert on trading earnings. And look, those of you who know me, you know I'm not cocky or arrogant or anything like that. I'm not saying that because of ego by any stretch. I'm saying it because of my experience. And that alone is why you should follow other successful people in this business, because their experience proves they know when and how to take money from the market. I am here today to share with you exactly what I look for in my process before I make an earnings trade and how simple it can be. And I am not shy about saying this. All right, you're gonna love this. Do you mind if I share a short story with you? Hit that questions box, give me a yes. Do you mind if I share a short story with you? All right, I got a yes from Steve. I got a yes from Ronald. Excellent. Good. Well, look, here I am with my little sister, and Bradley. Here I am with my little sister. It was probably like 1979 or something. And like a lot of kids want to be a doctor or a fireman, lawyer. I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to be a lawyer or a teacher of some sort. But for me, I wanted to be a trader, even at that age, which I know is a little bit weird, right? But I did. And I saw traders on TV and in the movies, and growing up in Chicago, there was a lot of it on the local news. I'd see traders in their jackets down in the financial district. These successful traders were all around me in Chicago, and it excited me to think that they could make money, and good money, by being a trader. So right out of college, I took a stack of my resumes and I went job shopping. I literally knocked on every door of the Chicago Board of Trade building, handing out those resumes. And lo and behold, guess what? I got a job. And that's where I got my start. Worked my way up from a runner. I was making $9,000 a year. Yeah, $9,000. Left a lot of money on the table. I figure I gave up about $30,000 a year every year I was a clerk, which was about 4 years. So I paid over $100,000 for my education, and damn, I'm glad I did, because I got to be around people who were expert traders who could show me their techniques so that I could use them. And I would make double that investment today. So anyway, I worked my way up from being a runner, which is a totally entry-level position, to becoming one of the biggest traders in my pit. I actually started trading in 1998, and life was good. I was living the dream. At that point, it might have been the best time in 30 years to be where I was. In a lot of ways, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Trading was easy. You could make some mistakes and still make money. Because do you remember what was going on in 1998? You remember what the financial media called it? Let's see who's first. Let's see who gets the gold star of the day here. What did they call the market back around 1998, 1999? The internet. What was it called again? Yeah, Steve. Steve says the internet bubble. That's right. It was Edwin says tech bubble. Yeah, Ronald says .com. Yeah, exactly. You guys got it right. It's called the internet bubble. Type a yes if you traded during the internet bubble. I want to see this. I'm taking a poll here. I want to see. Type a yes or no if you didn't. If you traded during the internet bubble, did you trade then? Edwin says yes. Ronald says no. Steve says yes. Ingrid says no. Okay, interesting. So I'll tell you what, if you're one of the folks who said no, that's okay, because I'm going to share with you an opportunity you can take advantage of right now where you can make the same sort of gains, and it's just as easy to trade, if not easier. Now, speaking of that old internet bubble, you know what happened, right? In fact, you know what eventually happens to all bubbles, right? That's right, they all pop. And for most, when the internet bubble burst, it didn't really look like this at all. Like this cute little girl is gonna pop the bubble and giggle. It was something a little bit more like this. This is basically what happened to a lot of people. And I don't really talk about this a lot, but this is kind of what happened for me. I'd never seen a crash like that in my career at that point. Back then, I didn't know how to handle it. In some ways, I did better than some, but it was bad. All of a sudden, nothing worked as it had worked before. Trades I'd normally crush weren't making money. I started to lose my confidence. I was constantly second guessing myself. And I'll never forget this one time where I just got completely run over by a trade. I lost $500,000 in a single day. That night, I had to go home and have a conversation with my wife, Kathleen. The plan before that was to put my next bonus away for our kids' college funds. That bonus was gone. Kids' college funds were gone. I wondered if I'd still have a job. I wondered if I'd still be able to keep my house. Now everything was different. But that's when I knew I had to create a trading system that works in all market scenarios. And as fate would have it, at that exact moment, I was presented with an opportunity. And it's funny how opportunities always seem to come right at the right time, isn't it? And when you get an opportunity, what do you do? What do you do when someone says 1, 2, 3, boom, here's a great opportunity? You take that step. There are two types of people in this world. There are those who second guess everything. Those are the people who are always looking back, not forward, who hesitate. And then there are people who take action and create success. And from the outside, it seems like these people are always getting lucky. That's not it, is it? They take action. Hit that questions box, type a yes if you're the sort of person who looks forward and takes action. Type a yes if you take that step. Let's see who we're talking to here. I'm taking another poll. One more poll here. Type a yes if you're the sort of person who actually takes that step and takes action, or a no. Edwin says no. Okay, you know what? The first step in anything is getting to know yourself and the things you do right, the things that maybe you can change to make your life better, right? Bradley says, pull the trigger. Indeed, right? That's what it's about. Steve says yes. Ronald says yes. Ingrid says no. Well, look, the most successful traders all have the same trade, and that is that they take action. It's about having an investor's mindset. When it comes down to it, it's about investing in yourself. Warren Buffett once said, the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. I mean, you can't make a profit if you never make the investment, right? Like many opportunities can, this opportunity that I was presented with had changed my life, and it set me down the path that I'm on today. The exchange asked me to come and teach classes for them, and I found that this was my calling. At that time, I started trading in a regular, non-professional trading account, like you. I was learning a different way to trade than I was used to. And I discovered that there were strategies that I wasn't using on the trading floor, or at least not trading them the same way, that were very powerful. that could make money in all market conditions, up or down, even the most unpredictable of markets. I made it my life's work to give back to the trading community and share these strategies with all traders and empower you however I can. And that's what ultimately led me to creating this earnings trading system that I use and that all our top performing traders use. Let's go back to simpler days. This is pre-COVID crash. Goldman Sachs was up 23% over this 12-month period. Question: would you be happy with a 23% annualized return? Would you? Would you be happy making 23% this year? This is not a rhetorical question. I want to know. I take some surveys and polls and such during my presentations. I want to know, and I'm going to reveal the results here. Would you be happy with a 23% return in a year? Hit that questions box. Ingrid says yes. Steve says maybe, okay. Edwin says yes. Ronald says no. That's interesting. That is interesting, and I actually like that, Ronald. 23% a year is tough for some people. But what if I told you that there's a strategy that it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down, is volatile or calm, and you can still make money consistently and potentially really good money? Well, here's the big news. Traders can do better than returns like these in all markets, and you have to. Interest rates are still pretty close to zero. That's bad for banks. People are worried about inflation and the market's irrational. That's bad for money managers. But do you know what saved firms like Goldman Sachs lately? Their trading units. So look here. Goldman has 36,600 employees. The average salary is $367,564. That's a total of $13.5 billion being paid out a year before bonuses. And bonuses are the big part of the trader's compensation. Goldman, in order for Goldman Sachs to pay $13.5 billion in a year, pay all those bonuses, all the rest of their overhead, and still retain enough money to grow their business by 23%, Goldman must make hundreds of percent a year. These are the kind of trades professionals traders make, and that's why they make 300 or 400 grand a year before those gigantic bonuses. When I started on the trading floor, I started with a $30,000 trading account. Making trades like these daily, weekly, and monthly enabled me to turn that $30,000 well into the seven-figure area. That's more than 23% a year. This is what's possible. This is what traders are doing every day. And it's not just professional traders. This is Vic. He was one of our traders who traded our earnings system. Vic said, I've only been trading for about a year, but 2020, that's the year he started, was one of the most difficult years, if not the most difficult year to trade, especially for a newbie like me. In spite of all the challenges, huge market up and down swings throughout the year, and all the crazy stuff happening, I actually did pretty well overall, increasing my account value by over 30% between June 20th, when I went live, and the end of the year. That comes out to about a 60% annualized return. And he was brand new to option trading. Imagine what you could do with a little training. Let me start out with a question. If you could consistently make money week after week, month after month, would you trade with more confidence? Huh? If you could consistently make money week after week, month after month, would you trade with more confidence? Hit that questions box. Oh, Bradley, yeah, baby. Is that from this? It should be, right? Ronald says yes. Steve says, of course. Edwin says yes. Peter says absolutely. Of course, because look, confidence is consistency. If you can be consistent, you'll be more confident, and then you'll be more consistent. But how do you get to that point? How do you break that barrier? It's by using bread and butter strategies. That's what I call them, my go-to strategies. But not strategies where I'm feeling lucky or I think I can guess well today. I'm talking about data-driven, tested with real money strategies that are created by a professional trader and road tested. Right now, the strongest consistency trade is the earnings trade. And there are several advantages to earnings trades. First of all, they're market independent. We don't care if the stock goes up or down, doesn't matter. They're very short term on each trade, which limits broad market exposure. They're potentially greatly leveraged profits. There's an extremely simple yes/no test to screen trades. The opportunities are concentrated in a short period of time. The biggest week of opportunities is next week, starting April 25th. Remember that date, April 25th. It's 5 days away. That's when there are literally hundreds of earnings trading opportunities. I like to call that money week because there's so many opportunities. Opportunities are the lifeblood of trading. It's having an investor's mentality, right? We are at the beginning of a life-changing time to trade. So when is the best time to be prepared? If money week is next week, it's 5 days away. A glut of opportunities. When do you want to start preparing for that? Maybe next month, when you get around to it, when the Starsky and Hutch rerun marathon ends. When do you want to start getting prepared for it? Yes, that is right, Ingrid. She says now. Bradley says now. Steve says yesterday. Yes, I'm with you, right? The prepared mind. And the most important thing about earnings trades is simply that they work. And it wasn't until I was a trader, like most of the traders attending this webinar, trading in a regular non-professional account, that I discovered the power of time spreads for earnings. Ironically, after trading thousands of time spreads on the trading floor and honing my skills with them, mostly in the form of risk management and execution, I learned that last 10% nuance that pushed the power of time spreads over the top for me in a rather unique way. Long story short, I found myself on the phone with a producer from Bloomberg Television who found me and said that he wanted to interview me on the trading floor. And I'd never done anything like that before, and I was pretty excited. So I said, hey, so that sounds great. What do you want to talk about? And he said, simple, Dan. Apple has earnings coming out after the close. We want you to share with our viewers a trade idea on how to trade Apple earnings. And then I was depressed. I was totally deflated. Sounds kind of weird, right? Why would I be totally deflated? Because I bet you don't know this, but most professional traders don't trade earnings. At one point in my career, I was in the top 10% of traders at my entire firm. There were 50 traders in my entire firm. I was in the top 5 as far as profitability goes. My boss, my risk manager, would have let me trade anything except earnings. Because why? Because earnings is the most unpredictable day of the year. Look at Netflix. They beat earnings and their stock is down 35% because of other things. It's just so unpredictable. You just can't predict it. So I never really traded earnings before. I wasn't allowed to. So I didn't want to miss my chance to be on TV, but for those of you who know me, you know that I always put my money where my mouth is. If I'm going to talk about a trade on TV, it's going to be one that I have on that I believe in. It's just a moral thing for me, right? So I said, hey, listen, I'll call you right back. And I went over to my computer, my trading station, and I looked. I was like, is there a trade that makes sense? Can't buy calls or puts because I can't predict direction. Can't sell cash secured puts or covered calls because I can't predict direction. Straddles are usually too expensive. We'll talk about that more later. And then I looked at a time spread and I was like, wait a minute, this is actually a great trade. I immediately put it on Got back on the phone. I went, I did the interview down in the pit. The trade made money, and I was hooked after that. And later I came across some data that you'll hear about in a minute that then gave me the black and white proof that this was no fluke. When the right criteria are met, this is a genuine consistency trade that can be used over and over again to crank out consistent profits with confidence during specific periods of the year, in particular, earnings season. Now, I'm going to give you a crash course on time spreads. It's going to last about 27 seconds. A time spread is when you buy one option and then you sell a shorter term option that has the same strike price. That's it. It's boom, that's simple. Now, the data show that these usually work out great, as you'll see on the next slide, when certain criteria are met. And this is really important. I'm definitely not saying, just go and trade a time spread on every single earnings play. That would be a disaster. That would not work. But when certain criteria are met, these work great. The other times when other criteria are met, we use straddles or some other strategy. Straddles are often weak when it comes to earnings because of the implied volatility buildup leading up to earnings. But when we do our yes/no test, we'll show that there are times, less than 5% of the time, when some other strategy works, but mostly we're going to stick with time spreads. And let's look at why. There's a lot of data here. Don't get too hung up on trying to read all the numbers. Later, I'll explain on how to simplify all this. For now, here's what's important. Look here. If you sell short-term options the day before an earnings event, they lose value greatly once earnings are announced the next trading session, which is good because you're short them. Now, longer-term options also lose their value between putting them on the day before earnings and then after the announcement. But the key element of this observation is that short-term options lose way more value than the longer-term ones. So what this means and what this essentially proves is that when certain criteria are met, trading time spreads around an earnings event is effectively a long-run, consistent winning strategy. And you can see the results here. These are basically the steps to follow this system through earnings season. There are a few details involved, but this is basically the gist of it. So write this down. First, we find all the stocks that have options listed on them and have earnings coming out after the close today or before the open tomorrow morning. Are you with me? Yes, that's important. You following me? Now, we can find several trades a day. Sometimes there are hundreds of opportunities. For example, next week, the week of April 25th, there are literally hundreds each day. Again, next week is an extremely important week for you. We screen those trades using the yes/no screen technique to see if we should continue on with the potential trade. This is your first step and will literally save you hours and hours of your precious time and make your life so much better. Not to mention, it'll ensure you're only trading the best trades, the ones with edge, meaning they have a statistical advantage in your favor. So your win rate increases and your winners are bigger. You like this? Give me a yes if you're liking this. You like it, or you like what I'm hearing so far? This all sounds really good. Ronald says yes. ZJ says yes. Bradley says yes. That might be from before, but yes. Steve says yes. Ingrid says yes. Bradley confirms it is a yes. All right, so look, we only continue on with the trades that have a positive term structure of volatility, and the greater the disparity in the term structure, the better. This step is critical. This is what I did on the trading floor every day, and then put it into our earnings trading system to make this simple for anyone to follow. Next, we run the is-was check by modeling the spread on tomorrow's days with a variant vol crush on both the short-term and the long-term option based on a partial reversion to the mean, but also relative to realized volatility. Then we compare that to the past to get the modeled endurable gap. okay? The modeled and durable gap is just my way of making this completely foolproof in black and white. So then it's super easy for you. Once you have that, you'll know exactly which trades to put on and which to stay away from. Now, here's where most people go wrong. We put on time spreads the session immediately before earnings. This is less than a 24-hour trade. That is critical. We follow the MTM proprietary earnings trade technique that I just shared and exit the trade at the precise time the following day. Excuse me, oh my goodness. Everybody screws that part up, but I will show you how you can get the timing right later. And then it's just simply rinse, wash, repeat. So let's go through a couple examples here. This is a trade that a trader could have made in a previous earnings cycle. A trader could have gone through the checklist that I just shared, and it would have triggered this trade in McDonald's. And this here, these two trades is actually one trade. It's called a time spread. Trader could have sold to open 10 of the 4-day to expiration 165 calls at $1.75, and at the same time bought to open 10 of the 11-day to expiration 165 calls at $2.11. So could have paid $2.11, collected $1.75, paid a total of 36 cents net for this two-part trade, this time spread. So what happens? Market closes, earnings comes out the next morning. We wait for 3 things to happen, and once they do, we can take it off. And so a trader could have taken this trade off by simply reversing the trade, by buying to close 10 of the now 3-day to expiration. Yesterday they were 4 days, now they're 3 days. 165 calls at $1.29, and then sold to close 10 of the now 10-day to expiration 165 calls at $1.81 and took in 52 cents. So 52 minus 36, the trade made 16 cents on a 36-cent trade. That's 44%. Let's make this more tangible. If you bought a 10 lot, you'd have invested $360 and made 160 bucks. Factor in commissions, of course, and this is a solid trade. Now notice, and this is important, I wanted to make this as black and white as possible. So I assumed buying the offer and selling the bid for presentation purposes. But in reality, because the bid-ask spreads are so wide, particularly on closing the trade, which is almost always the case, if I'd have used our technique of middling the market, profit would likely have been a bare minimum of about 20 cents better, which is $200 more on the 10 lot, or more like 100% return in this case. But again, I just wanted to show this example in a pure, unarguable way. In reality, managing the bid-ask spread on closing the trade is where most people go wrong. People leave thousands of dollars on the table every earnings season by not doing this part right. The results I show that are sort of the worst case scenario for this particular trade, they're good, but they can be great. Now I want to make this very realistic and show you exactly how this works in real life when you middle the market with the 25-20 middling technique. These are some screenshots of my account on an earnings trade I made in a past earnings season. This is Oxy. So I went through my checklist I shared with you already, and it triggered this trade. It triggered this time spread. I bought to open 20 of the Oxy February 22nd 66 calls at $1.49 and sold short 20 of the Oxy February 15th 66 calls at $1.31, paying 18 cents. But now look, the ones I had to buy are these right here. They were offered at $1.50, but I didn't pay $1.50, did I? I paid $1.49. I paid less. The ones I had to sell were these. They were $1.30 bid. That's where the market says I could sell them, but I didn't sell them at $1.30. I sold them at $1.31, smack dab actually in the middle of the bid-ask spread. So I really, like, theoretically should have paid 150 minus 130, should have paid 20 cents, but I only paid 18 cents. I started this trade 10% better off. So long story short, market closes, earnings comes out. The next day, I wait for 3 things to happen. I put in my closing order. to sell at 30 cents, and I got filled, but I only got filled on 2 of them. This is where a lot of people would panic and mess up the trade. But this is a system. I just follow the system that I've laid out. And I stepped down to 27 cents, got filled on the balance, and it ended up being a 51.7% profit in 1 day, in less than 1 day, in less than 24 hours. That's about $279 of profit in money terms. Now, 51.7%, 44%, these trades are great. Do all trades work out exactly as perfect as these two? No, not all of them. In fact, this is one that actually didn't work out. I went through my checklist and it did trigger this trade right here, this time spread. And I actually made this trade. I bought 30 of the MGM March 1st, 29 puts at 91. And I sold short 30 of the February 15th, 29 puts at 71 cents. I paid 20 cents. Market closed, earnings comes out. And when it opens, this trade just really got away from me. Exactly what I didn't want to have happen happened. Did I panic? No. When you trade a system, it's about consistency and it builds your confidence. And so by not panicking, I just waited patiently for the 3 things to happen. I put in my closing order by following the system, and I got filled at 19 cents. I lost money, but it was a 5% loss on this day. Now I've made hundreds of these earnings trades. I can go on and on over and over again. This is Las Vegas Sands. Bought to open 15 of the May 3rd, 68 calls at $1.76. Sold short 15 of the April 18th, 68 calls at $1.26 for a net 50 cents. Market closes, earnings comes out, opens the next day, 3 things happen, boom. Close the trade by simply reversing it. Take in 70 cents. That's a 40% profit overnight, comes out to about $300 less commissions. The key here is consistency. It's driving consistent profits. If you can make $300 on one trade, $500 on another, $280 on another, $700 on another, and there are hundreds of opportunities throughout a week, like there is next week, for example. How much money do you think you can make trading this system in just a single week? Next week. In fact, hit that questions box. I'm curious to see what you have to say. How much do you think you can make trading this system next week alone, when there are literally hundreds of opportunities to analyze a day, and you're just going to pick the absolute best of the best of the best? What do you think? Ingrid says $5,000. Steve says $15,000. Ronald says $12,000. ZJ says, depends on how much we risk. Right, depends on how big your account is, right? If you have a small account, you want to grow it into a big account. So you want to have these leveraged, consistent trades. If you have a big account, well, you want to grow it into an even bigger account. This is why a consistent system is so powerful. And that's why management is so important. Make sense? Management makes money. That's the 3 M's of trading. If you can follow a checklist, finding, analyzing, setting up, and making the trade is simple. And closing the trade simple too. We simply take it off the next day. But it requires a little nuance. And I'll share a resource to make those nuances super simple in just a moment. This is a system, and that's why it's easy. Work the system, and the system works. Let's talk about realistic expectations. As they say, you make your own luck. You take the actions that make things happen to make your life what it is. Am I right? Really? I'm not trying to be like philosophical here or anything, but don't you believe that that's true? You believe that the actions you choose determine your future? Yes? And if you don't take action, if you do nothing, nothing changes, right? Profitable trading is a reality for many traders. We have traders in our online community chat room, or some of our top money-making students. They're really successful, regular folks like you and me who post their trades real time for all to see. who have made the decision to be profitable. They made that choice. And by the way, in a moment, I'll reveal how you can get free access to the MTM community chat room for 6 months. So how often can you find trades like this? All throughout earnings season, there are hundreds. Are these returns common? Yes, earnings trades can yield highly leveraged returns with low risk. What if the trade doesn't work out? Risk is limited, but more importantly, it's manageable and can be a small fraction of possible gains. Here's how to make this work. It's a simple process. Anybody can follow it. The timing to get it down is urgent because earnings season has already begun and next week's the big one. You can make the next 6 months the best of the year and repeat that success in future earnings seasons throughout your trading career. You can finally make your trading easy, and it's about time, isn't it? This is the Total Earnings Domination All Access Premium Package. In this course, I'm going to share with you how to replace uncertainty with confidence so you can profit consistently no matter what the stock market's doing using my simple, data-driven, real money proven total earnings domination system. In this complete course, here's just some of what you'll learn. How to easily scan the market for earnings trades, where to get real-time data that pinpoint winning earnings trades, the best time of day for entries and exits, the yes-no screen technique blueprint, the earnings time spread risk checklist to maximize your gains and minimize your losses, how to calculate the modeled endurable gap, how to manage wide bid-ask spreads on closing the trades. You'll also 100% understand how to know when a stock's more likely to outperform on its earnings announcement, how to set up profit and loss targets, how to select the optimal expirations to maximize profit potential. You now have a new opportunity to trade more consistently using a strategy that works in all market conditions, to get a blueprint for trading and watch live setups of earnings trades so you can easily follow along, to make the next few weeks your top performing weeks yet. Plus, to make back losses on trades that maybe you already made that didn't work out so well. Let's first talk about who this is not for. Let me be clear. This is not for people looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not for gamblers. Yes, it's possible to make a lot of money in a short period of time. But I want to be clear. This is not gambling. This is not guessing. I have done the math. I've created the system. You just follow along. You trade with a mathematical advantage like a professional trader, and it's completely simplified so anyone can do it. This is also not for people who would rather spend time and money and endure losses to learn on their own over many years' time. And it's also not for wishy-washy procrastinators. Who is this for? This is for you. If you want more consistency, this is for you. If you want low-risk trades with high profit potential, this is for you. If you believe your success is tied to following a methodology, this is for you. If you can follow a few simple steps. This is for action takers. And for my action takers, I'm going to make this really easy for you. This is our Total Earnings Domination 6-month all access premium package. First of all, let me share what you're going to get with this class. You begin with the brain dump part of the training, Secrets to Trading Earnings Bootcamp video. I'm going to put 29 years of my experience into your head with one short video. This is the keys to the kingdom. It's a $2,995 value. Why is it $2,995? Because if you can make the kind of money we're talking about consistently on daily trades throughout this earnings season and for the rest of earnings seasons this year and forever, this one-time small, easy investment can pay you over and over again for a lifetime. And as you see, there is no auto renewal on any of this. But isn't it important to you to make sure that you can put the knowledge to use, that you can actually do it? Well, today you're going to get hands-on training. Starting April 25th, you'll log in and watch me trade live in a real money account. So you'll see exactly what to do as you follow along with me. You'll literally see the system being traded in the live market, and you'll make your first trade together with me as a group. This is the ultimate hands-on training. And we literally want you to have this mastered. So you're also getting our 4-part masterclass, earnings trading techniques from 2 decades on the CBOE trading floor. You'll know exactly what to do every time. This puts the power into your hands. And you'll have questions. So today you're also getting 6 months free of the MTM community chat room. You'll log in and get all your questions answered by me or our other coaches. But another huge sort of secret benefit that I shared with you earlier is that the MTM community chat room is where our top money making traders log in and post their trades live, real time. This is an all access premium package, and it's valued at $7,437. But I want to make this very easy for you. I want to make this completely irresistible for you. I want to make this so you can confidently, immediately join us right now. A 1,000,000-mile journey begins with the first step, and this is that step. Go to markettaker.com/TED right now and get all this for a small, easy investment of just $497. 1, 2, 3, boom. That's a massive 93% off discount, and it is valid only for the first 35 people who take action right now. Go to market, as in stock market, taker, as in take what is rightfully yours, 2 T's in a row, markettaker.com/TED, or call 1-800-944-9262. Now, why would I give such a huge discount? 93% off. Why would I do that? Because earnings season has already begun. And I want you to be one of the 1,000 traders success stories that we strive to create this year. People who take action are the ones that can be great traders. When you see a great opportunity and fearlessly act on it. So to reward the traders who will move forward, this 93% off is valid only for the first 35 people to join us right now at markettaker.com/TED. Now here is an extra special bonus not on that last slide. I want to make sure that this works for everyone, regardless of your experience level as an option trader. Even if you're brand new to options and never made an options trade yet. To make sure this works for everyone, today you're going to get the Options Impact Quick Start video course. This on-demand course levels the playing field for beginner option traders. It covers all the basics you need to begin trading options confidently. Even if you've never traded an option before, you'll be able to start trading like someone who's been trading successfully for years and put you on the fast track to maximize your gains this earnings season. And here's the big one. Action takers only. You're going to get this course that every one of our top traders has gone through. We're going to share live weekly drill down master sessions together. This is the MTM Trade Smart workshop. This is where I pull back the curtain Each month, we pick a different topic to drill down on and give you expert understanding of it, so you can achieve mastery as an option trader. Now, I can't open this bonus up to 35 people. I can only invite a handful of traders so that I can manage this process with you. I take this very personally. You're investing in your success today, and so am I. So I want to have quality control. So it's essential that I keep this bonus very small. Every week, this inner circle group gathers online. The next webinar happens tomorrow. That special training session continues the hands-on portfolio management series, which is at the heart of total earnings domination. For your convenience, all these are recorded. With your password access, today you'll instantly get access to the hands-on adjustment techniques, to gaining edge, how to dominate the market with simple math, portfolio management, and more. This is a $1,794 value. I'm opening this up only to the first 17 traders who join right now. This is our fast action bonus. The first 17 that take action right now during this webinar will also get this bonus. Look, this earnings cycle is one of the most important in the entire history of the stock market. Analysts are waiting to see what the earnings are to give guidance for the future. And that means traders can make more money than they ever have before. This process is starting right now. When you enroll today, you will have just enough time to get through the brain dump training of watching the bootcamp video and the masterclass to be ready for the first live class on Monday, April 25th. These are the 5 most important classes you will attend this year, probably this decade. This earnings season is the opportunity of a lifetime for those who choose to put that opportunity into action. So it's go time. For those of you who've been waiting for the right opportunity, this is an opportunity to change your life. Also, in the past, because earnings season is quarter by quarter, when someone joined, they got 3 months access in the past. But I had some people tell me, but Dan, I have a commitment and I can't make all the live earnings classes. Or, Dan, I'm going to be out of town for part of earnings season. So I wanted to make sure that everyone who invested in the class was able to fully use it and get the results that they expect. So my team and I decided that with the total earnings domination all access premium package, we would make the class available for a full 6 months. So as of today, you'll have plenty of time to get through all the material, and you'll get to attend the 5 live earnings trading sessions in July's Money Week 2. Those 5 hands-on training sessions are all 100% totally live. If you can't make it live, they're all recorded. In each of those classes, I'll reveal all the top earnings trades of the day, each of those days. And I'm going to prove that anyone can do this, regardless of experience or account size. So here is my guarantee to you. I am actually trading these trades live with real money, so you can see exactly how it's done and follow along. In fact, I am using less than $10,000 in my account to show you that anyone can do it, regardless of account size. So right now, it is go time. Meet Jill from Cincinnati, Ohio. She joined our class a couple of quarters ago. One of her first trades that she did together with us in the live coaching sessions. She bought a Microsoft time spread that met our criteria, as did I and the other students in the class. She bought the spread at $2.65 and in less than 24 hours sold it for $3.75, locking in a 41.5% profit. And she posted real time in the MTM community chat room, which you will have the same access to. The MTM community chat room is where all our top money making traders log in and post their trades live real time. If all you got out of the total earnings domination premium package today was to watch some of our top 6-figure traders posting their trades real time so you could follow along, wouldn't this be worth it just for that? And here's one such comment from our MTM community chat room. This is Jason Fullen from Leander, Texas. He says, I closed IBM for 85 cents or 124% profit. He opened the trade at 38 cents. And this was his first total earnings domination trade, a $1,000 winner on his first trade that he made with me and the other students in the live earnings trade class the very first day. This is David Z from South Lake Tahoe, California. He says, I traded closed the last 5 at $1.41, total gain of $425 less commission. The class has paid for itself. This is Russell K from Glendale, California. I'm above an 80% win rate. Most of the others were maybe a 5% loss. Only one total loss out of 16 trades. Like you said, middling is really important and waiting for the bid ask to normalize. Just waiting that hour made a few of the trades winners instead of losers. What he was talking about is I am in the chat room all day long telling you where I'm getting into trades, where I'm getting out of the trades. And I told him, hey, Russell, the 3 things didn't line up. We've got to wait for one of those. And I waited. And I said, okay, now I'm taking the trade off. And that turned his losing trade into a winner for him. There's Tyler M from Lexington, Tennessee. He says, I took Dan's MTM course about 7 years ago in college. It was my first exposure to a structured options trading strategy. He started me down the path that I'm on today. And now I'm a professional options trader at a fund. Thanks, Dan. So whether you're brand new to options trading, you're going to get the Options Impact Quick Start videos today. And if you're highly experienced, look, we take people who are already very experienced and make them professional traders. If you want to get results like Jill and like Jason and like David and like Russell, you know what to do, right? Go to markettaker.com/TED right now and get started. Again, this is limited to the first 35 people, and I can see we've had a good number of people join us so far. Welcome to Tracy, and welcome to Maggie, and welcome to Steve. And hey, Ingrid joined us. Welcome, Ingrid. Welcome, and not just welcome, but congratulations, all you who just joined us. I'm going to finish welcoming everybody in just a second, but first I want to take some questions. And there's one question that just comes to mind first. Sometimes people say, Dan, I've got a small account. I can see how this is a great way to grow this into a big account. But the thing is that I'm having a hard time coming up with the 497 bucks. Can I break this into payments? And that answer is yes. You can use PayPal and PayPal credit, because we have a deal with PayPal to offer you both PayPal as a payment option and PayPal credit, so you can lock in total earnings domination today when you check out using PayPal and choose PayPal credit. Just go to markettaker.com/TED and click the yellow or blue PayPal button to get started right away. Now go ahead and put your questions in the questions box so that I can answer them for you to help you make the decision to come and join us today. A couple questions that I frequently get is this live or recorded? It's both. I know you're busy. Not everyone can make it to the live classes. You can attend the 5 live earnings trading classes that I mentioned, but if that doesn't work for your schedule, that's okay. I will record them and you can watch them when it's convenient for you. So those of you who just joined us, you got a username and password in your email. Go ahead and register for those live classes, but you can also see there that that's where you can watch the recorded classes. How long do I have access to the class? With the Total Earnings Domination All Access Premium Package, you'll get an entire 6 months access to all these materials. You have plenty of time to master the system. Is this time consuming? No. In fact, it'll save you time so you can spend it doing the things you love with friends and family. And it can save you years of struggle and foregone profits. Look, you can spend years figuring it out on your own. But right now is the hottest earnings season you are likely to see in your lifetime. You'll be able to go through this simple course now and start seeing immediate results. How do I know I'll be able to do it? Because it comes with hands-on training, where I'll show you in the live market exactly what to do with real live trade setups. Now, the number one question we get, is there a limit on the number of students who can join? Yes, but I have a small team. Yes, there is a limit because we have a small team that is committed to student success. If you're committed to doing your part, we will do ours, and therefore today's limited to the first 35 who are serious about maximizing your gains during earnings season. So go ahead and give me your questions so that I can answer them so you can make the decision to come and join us. Once again, to get this 93% off massive discount, go to markettaker.com/TED because it's crunch time. You have 5 days. If you're ready to make it happen for yourself, I'm making it extremely easy for you to do so. All right. Do we have any final questions before we call it a day? And again, welcome to all our new folks. We had Deborah join us, and Nagy, and Lisa, Peter, Nikki, Naz, Daniel, Josh. Welcome to all you guys, man. Like, this is so great. You guys showed up today because you took this one step. You invested your time, and so many of you have taken that one final step. Carlos says, how can I hear the recording? So Carlos, you just joined us a couple of days ago, as I recall, right? So you can just simply log into the student section, click on Total Earnings Domination, and all the recordings will be there after the live classes, all right? Everything is there. Everyone who just joined us, you got a username and password. Go ahead and click that now, and you'll be all set. All right. Hey, listen, I'm going to turn this back over to the hostess with the mostest, Sherry. Thank you for spending your end of your afternoon with me. Trade well, and I'll see many of you online in the chat room. Trade well.
This is awesome. Thanks a lot, Dan. Okay, guys, I put the link in the chat. It's markettaker.com/TED. And as always, it's been a pleasure, Dan. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sherry.
All right. Now, oh my goodness, it's over. We're over. Wow. Guys, I want to thank you so much for attending today. And I'm going to change my screen. Oh, well, are you seeing a blank screen? From current slide. Oh, no. All right, we're just going to leave a blue screen up there. I want to ask you to join us again on May 4th. And you're going to be getting emails from everyone who spoke today I hope that you'll take advantage of their free trials and take a look at their offerings. I know that some of them resonated with you today. I want to thank you for coming here. Hey, let us know your big takeaway. support@tradersexclusive.com. If you give me an idea of who the speaker was and what your big takeaway was, I'm keeping track of that for some social media. I want to say we have much appreciation to our presenters for bringing cutting edge strategies to you, our attendees, so you can improve your trading. And from your host, me, Sherry, and all of us at Traders Exclusive, I want to say trade well, and please do join us on May 4th. Have a good day.